Chapter 659. Yagi Yukaim hung up the phone with a blush on her cheeks. In fact, the business exchange meeting had ended a few days ago. The reason why she did not leave immediately was that she was looking forward to the day when Qin Haodong would come. After waiting for a few days without any news, she took the initiative to call him today. She did not expect to get such good news immediately. Although she was extremely beautiful, she still sat in front of the mirror and carefully dressed up. After a while, the door opened and Qin Haodong came in from the outside. "Master, you're here." Yagi Yukaim was wearing a kimono and wooden clogs. She respectfully saluted Qin Haodong. Qin Haodong did not say anything. He closed the door, then picked up Yagi Yukaim and walked to the big bed in the room. Yagi Yukaim stretched out her hands and involuntarily hugged his neck. There seemed to be a fire burning in her body. Qin Haodong put her on the bed and reached out to tear off the kimono on his body. He found that it was empty inside. Her graceful figure could be seen at a glance. In an instant, the room was filled with spring. About 2 hours later, the clouds stopped and the rain stopped. Yagi Yukaim's delicate cheeks were flushed with satisfaction and a happy smile. She ran her genuine qi. When she felt her strength, her expression changed and she exclaimed, "Master, how did my cultivation improve so much? Am I already at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm?" During the process of dual cultivation just now, she had been enjoying a rare pleasure and did not pay much attention to her own cultivation. Only then did she notice that the surging genuine qi in her body had reached the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm in just a few hours. It was no wonder that she was so shocked. In the whole Neon, there were not many people who could reach the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. Even if there were, they were all great figures. Although dual cultivation was the best way to improve cultivation, the practitioner's cultivation had to be high enough. Half a month ago, Qin Haodong was only at the 3rd level of the Supreme Power Realm. She did not expect that he would reach the highest grade of the Supreme Power Realm so soon. Such a rapid growth rate was simply unheard of. How did he do it? That's right. You are indeed a level 9 Supreme Power Master now. After you go back this time, you have to do one thing. That is to improve the strength of your Yagyu family as soon as possible. It's not enough for you to have a high cultivation alone. You must improve the cultivation of other people as well. Qin Haodong said as he took out a small cloth bag filled with large and small jade bottles. "These are the pills I prepared for your Yagyu family. Go back and choose suitable subordinates to help them improve quickly." "Thank you, Master." Yagi Yukaim was a very smart woman. She soon realized that something was wrong and asked, "Master, is there anything that we need to do?" Qin Haodong trusted her very much, so he directly told her about the alien demons. Finally, he said, "After you go back, you should hurry to improve the strength of the Yagyu family and pay more attention to the movements of the alien demons. If you discover anyone with that special tattoo, inform me immediately. Don't act rashly." "Yes, Master. Please rest assured that the Yagyu family will definitely follow your lead," Yagi Yukaim said as she helped Qin Haodong put on his clothes. "Go back and get ready now. You must keep the matter of the alien demons a secret. Don't leak it. Also, be more careful. If you encounter any special circumstances, contact me immediately." After that, Qin Haodong walked out of the room first. He left the hotel and drove to the criminal police unit of the East City District. In the reception room of the criminal police unit, a fat middle-aged man was sitting in the main seat. His 2 small eyes were staring at Nalan Wuxia opposite him, flashing with uncontrollable greed. Feeling the man's gaze, Nalan Wuxia's face flashed with disgust and she said, "Director Chu, welcome to our criminal police unit. Do you have any instructions?" The fat middle-aged man was Chu Xiongfei, the deputy director of the Shanghai Public Security Bureau. He was also Nalan Wuxia's immediate superior. A fake smile appeared on Chu Xiongfei's face as he said, "No instructions. Captain Nalan, you're so young and you're already the captain of the criminal police unit. You're young and promising. Director Chu, you flatter me. I'm just doing my job. It's even more commendable that you're not arrogant or rash. Chu Xiongfei's hypocrisy and lascivious eyes made Nalan Wuxia feel extremely uncomfortable. She said, Director Chu, if you have nothing to do, you can rest here. I still have some cases to deal with. Seeing that Nalan Wuxia was going to leave him here, Chu Xiongfei's expression changed, but he soon recovered his smile. After all, she was the woman he liked. Wuxia, work is endless. Don't tire yourself out. And if you want to make progress, don't just think about how to work. You have to pay in other aspects. He looked at Nalan Wuxia with a sinister smile and said, Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't understand. As a policeman, I just want to do my job well. Seeing that Nalan Wuxia didn't understand, Chu Xiongfei's face slowly became cold and he said, Nalan Wuxia, I'll tell you frankly. I like you. As long as you can meet my requirements, I can help you go further. It's not difficult for you to even become the deputy director. Director Chu, please behave yourself. I have a boyfriend. Nalan Wuxia's face also darkened in an instant. She didn't expect that Chu Xiongfei could say such shameless words so confidently. Don't worry, listen to me slowly. Chu Xiongfei said, I think you also know that I came from the capital. I came to Shanghai to gain some experience and get promoted when I go back. During this period, my wife and I have been living separately. As long as you can accompany me, I won't affect your relationship with your boyfriend, and I can help you go further and give you endless money to spend. Seeing that this guy was still going on, Nalan Wuxia said angrily, Chu Xiongfei, I don't want to be a high-ranking official, nor do I lack money. You'd better put away your dirty thoughts. After being rejected one after another, Chu Xiongfei became completely popular. After so many years, there was no woman he couldn't get. He slapped the table and shouted arrogantly, Nalan Wuxia, don't be so shameless. If you annoy me, even Dong Bicheng can't protect you. Don't forget that I'm from the Chu family in the capital. I know that you come from the Nalan family in Jiangnan, and your family is more or less powerful, but so what? Our Chu family is the top family in the capital and even the whole Huaxia. Your Nalan family can't compare with us. The more this guy spoke, the more arrogant and louder he became. With the Chu family behind him, he had enough confidence. Nalan Wuxia said angrily, Chu Xiongfei, get out of here. No matter how strong the Chu family is, I don't care. Get out? Chu Xiongfei sneered and said, Don't forget that I'm the deputy director of the Shanghai Public Security Bureau. The entire Shanghai Public Security Bureau is my territory. Once you annoy me, it's you who will get out, not me. Speaking of this, his expression eased a little. Young man, why are you so stubborn? As long as you agree to my request, I can not only help you to have a meteoric rise in the Shanghai Public Security Bureau, but also help your Nalan family go further. Don't forget, I have the Chu family behind me. Nalan Wuxia was so angry that her eyes were full of fire. She clenched her fists and wanted to rush up and beat this guy up. But she knew that she couldn't do this. Chu Xiongfei was not only her immediate superior, but also the Chu family behind him. Maybe it would bring big trouble to the Nalan family. Chu Xiongfei's face was full of pride. It seemed that his threat was effective. The Chu family was powerful enough to make ordinary people look up to them. Is the Chu family that great? At this moment, the door of the reception room opened and Qin Haodong came in from outside. He patted the woman on the shoulder and said, Leave it to me. Go back to the office and wait for me. Nalan Wuxia knew Qin Haodong's ability. She didn't say anything and turned to leave the reception room. Seeing that she was about to leave, Chu Xiongfei slapped the table and shouted, If you dare to leave, you won't be the captain in the future. Before he could finish shouting, he heard a crisp slap. A big slap landed on his face, directly throwing him to the ground. Qin Haodong glanced at Chu Xiongfei and sneered, Fat pig, you're ugly, but you're dreaming. Chu Xiongfei got up from the ground in a hurry, pointed at Qin Haodong and said angrily, Boy, who are you? Pa, Qin Haodong slapped Chu Xiongfei in the face again and said, "Didn't your mother tell you not to point at people casually? It's very rude." Just now, outside the door, he had heard the conversation between the two clearly. The guy in front of him was a member of the Chu family, and his mother was also from the Chu family. In terms of blood, they might be relatives. But he did not have a good impression of the Chu family. It was the Chu family who wanted to hurt him when he was still a baby. It was the Chu family who made his mother wander outside all these years. Chu Xiongfei got up from the ground again. At this time, he regretted sending away all the people around him in order to talk to Nalan Wuxia. Now he was beaten like a dog, but he could not find anyone to help him. "Boy, let me tell you, I'm the Deputy Director of the Public Security Bureau of Shanghai. You can't afford to offend me. If you beat me, there will be no place for you in Huaxia," he said very tough, but his eyes were full of fear. He no longer dared to raise his finger. Qin Haodong smiled coldly. Although he could not go too far with this guy for his mother's sake, he still had to be punished for daring to hurt his woman. He stepped forward and grabbed Chu Xiongfei. Soon, all his clothes were taken off, not even his underwear was left. Chu Xiongfei was completely panicked and cried in horror, You, what are you doing?" Qin Haodong glanced at him and said disdainfully, "You're just a little toothpick. It's good enough that you're not cuckolded if you stay at home. How dare you fantasize?" Then he took out his mobile phone and began to record Chu Xiongfei. Chapter 660. Seeing that Qin Haodong was going to videotape his naked body, Chu Xiongfei was completely panicked. If this kind of video was spread, it would be terrible. "No, you can't do this." As he shouted, he wanted to raise his hands to protect his key parts and cover his face, but he was horrified to find that his two arms did not listen to him and he had completely lost the ability to move. "Bastard, what the hell did you do to me?" Chu Xiongfei roared angrily. "Don't shout, or others will misunderstand that I'm interested in you," Qin Haodong said as he put away his mobile phone and patted his swollen cheek. "Behave yourself in the future, or I will let everyone in the world see your little toothpick." After that, he picked up the clothes on the ground, walked out of the reception room and threw them all into the trash can. As for how Chu Xiongfei walked out of the reception room naked, it was not his concern. When he came to the captain's office, Nalan Wuxia was standing at the desk with a livid face. Qin Haodong held her in his arms and kissed her gently. "Well, don't be angry. I've punished that fat pig for you." Nalan Wuxia asked, "What did you do to him?" She was also afraid that Qin Haodong would go too far. After all, Chu Xiongfei was her immediate boss. Qin Haodong told her what had happened from beginning to end and said, "How about it? Did you vent your anger? That's really a bad move." Nalan Wuxia giggled for a while and then said, "I did vent my anger, but it's not good for Chu Xiongfei to be locked up here like this. Anyway, this is the crime squad. Who cares? Anyway, it has nothing to do with you." Nalan Wuxia said in surprise, "I'm the captain here. How can it have nothing to do with me? Soon it won't be." Qin Haodong picked up the pen on the desk, pulled a piece of paper, and wrote, "I quit," on it in a flamboyant style. Turning around, he handed the pen in his hand to Nalan Wuxia and said, "This is your resignation letter. Sign it." "Resign? Why should I resign?" Nalan Wuxia glared at him and said, "If I resign, will you support me?" "Of course I'm the one supporting you. Do you expect me to support you?" Qin Haodong said, "I'm going to the capital in a few days. Are you going to be a policeman there? Come with me. Are you telling the truth? Are you really willing to support me for the rest of my life?" Nalan Wuxia's voice trembled a little. Qin Haodong's attitude towards her had always been ambiguous, but today he said that he would support her, which made her feel happy too suddenly. Qin Haodong smiled and said, "Of course it's true. Don't you want to?" "I'm willing. Of course." She grabbed the pen in Qin Haodong's hand and signed her name on the resignation letter. Then she changed her uniform and walked out of the crime squad hand in hand. Darling, where are we going? Nalan Wuxia leaned on Qin Haodong's shoulder, her face full of happiness. Today is our big day, of course we have to go to a good place. Qin Haodong opened the door and let Nalan Wuxia get in the car. Then he drove to the seaside. He had to do the most important thing with Nalan Wuxia today, so it was not appropriate for him to go home. So he called Ma Wenjue on the way and asked him to prepare a house for him. Ma Wenjue had prepared the most beautiful seascape villa for him through some connections. It faced the sea with beautiful scenery and was far away from the hustle and bustle of the city. It was indeed a good place to meet lovers. They walked into the villa. The decoration inside was very chic, luxurious, warm and romantic. In the living room, there was a heart-to-heart pattern made of red roses, and the big bed in the bedroom was covered with beautiful rose petals. On the terrace of the villa, there was a delicate table full of sumptuous Western-style dishes and a bottle of red wine next to it. Sitting here and enjoying the delicious meal, they could not only enjoy the moist and cool sea breeze, but also see the unique seascape. Qin Haodong secretly nodded in his heart. Although Ma Wenjue was single, he was good at being romantic. He did not know that Ma Wenjue had recently read a lot of strategies to flirt with girls on the internet in order to get rid of being single as soon as possible. The decoration of the room was something he had just learned, and he wanted to test it on Qin Haodong. You haven't eaten yet, have you? Let's eat a little. Qin Haodong took Nalan Wuxia to sit at the table, picked up the wine bottle, and poured a glass of wine for both of them. Nalan Wuxia obviously enjoyed the atmosphere, and her face was full of happiness. After taking a sip of red wine, she asked, Haodong, where have you been these days? Why didn't you come to see me? They chatted while eating. Qin Haodong told her about his recent experiences in Hong Kong and Meng Village. Of course, he automatically omitted some of the situations with other women. Although Nalan Wuxia was very clear about some things, it was one thing to know, and another to say it out. After hearing the ancient secrets told by her roommate, Nalan Wuxia opened her mouth wide in surprise. I didn't expect that there would be terrible alien demons here. Qin Haodong said, this world is far from being as peaceful as it looks. It's full of danger at any time, so I want to help you improve your cultivation as soon as possible. As he spoke, he told her about the dual cultivation enlightenment. Nalan Wuxia's cheeks blushed. She did not expect Qin Haodong to have such a wonderful method. You're a bad guy. How could you think of such a way to take advantage of a girl? Qin Haodong said, it's not taking advantage of me. It must be true love. If two people can't completely trust each other and open their hearts to each other, they can't complete the double cultivation enlightenment. Nalan Wuxia lowered her head and said shyly, I can do it. I'm willing to do anything for you. Looking at the beautiful woman in front of him, Qin Haodong could no longer control himself. He stood up and set up the defense restriction in the room. Then, he picked up Nalan Wuxia and walked to the big bed covered with rose petals. Soon, the two of them were able to see each other with their naked eyes. Nalan Wuxia, who used to be valiant and heroic, was extremely shy at the moment. Not only her cheeks were like ripe apples, but even her white and tender skin was shining with a pink halo, looking extremely attractive. Wuxia, are you ready? I'm coming. Qin Haodong whispered in her ear. Wait a minute. Nalan Wuxia pushed his shoulder and whispered, today is my first time as a woman. I don't want to mix too many things. I want to leave a pure memory. Qin Haodong asked doubtfully, what do you mean? It's your double cultivation enlightenment method. We can use it later. Now we're just, speaking of this, she was so shy that her voice was almost inaudible. How could Qin Haodong not understand? He smiled and said, you're right. Let's do something pure. With a low moan, the two of them became one. Nalan Wuxia also completed the most important transformation in a woman's life. After a long time, Qin Haodong completed the last blow. The two of them hugged each other tightly, enjoying the warmth after sex. But at this moment, there was a cracking sound in Nalan Wuxia's body. Then, the genuine qi in her dantian instantly became extremely violent like boiling magma, rushing to her limbs like a monstrous flood. What's going on? Haodong, didn't you say that you don't need to use enlightenment method for the time being? Nalan Wuxia thought that Qin Haodong was helping her improve her cultivation. No, I didn't do it. Qin Haodong also noticed the changes in Nalan Wuxia's body. He quickly withdrew and then glanced at her with his spirit. At this moment, the genuine qi in Bai Wuxia's body became violent, like a wild horse out of control. When he glanced at her dantian, he finally found the source. He saw a small black ball floating in Nalan Wuxia's dantian. This thing looked like a golden elixir, but it was not. The small black ball kept rotating, releasing wisps of black qi. When the black qi came out, it immediately turned into violent genuine qi, occupying the entire dantian. When he saw the small ball clearly, Qin Haodong's pupils suddenly shrank. Is this the demonic seed? When he was in the cultivation world, he had come into contact with a demonic skill called the demonic seed method. There were some cultivators who practiced demonic arts who were unwilling to die when their lives came to an end. However, their primordial spirits were not strong enough to possess someone else, so they compressed their cultivation base and divine sense into a demonic seed and secretly planted it in the body of the cauldron of their choice. The demonic seed was well hidden in the stove and was generally difficult to be discovered. When it was ripe, the demonic seed would quickly grow and be reborn in the stove. Not only could it raise the stove's cultivation to the previous level of the demonic seed, but it could also complete the possession. It could be said that this was another form of possession. In comparison, it took a longer time, usually years or even decades. However, the effect was better than a direct possession. Not only could one occupy a new body, but they could also bring back their cultivation from when they were alive. After observing again, Qin Haodong confirmed that the black ball in Nalan Wuxia's body was the demonic seed. Someone had used the demonic seed method on her. After understanding it, his expression immediately changed. He took out the silver needles from his pocket and quickly pierced them into Nalan Wuxia's mud pill palace, the Baihui acupoint on the top of her head, the Fengqi acupoint on both sides, and the temple. In the blink of an eye, 7 silver needles were pierced out. 7 needles soul fixation skill. Qin Haodong quickly locked on to Nalan Wuxia's divine treasure. This was the best way to prevent the demonic seed from possessing her. As long as it was hidden, the spirit in the demonic seed could not complete the possession. At this moment, Nalan Wuxia's momentum suddenly skyrocketed and became stronger and stronger. The cultivation in her body broke through the bottleneck one after another under the continuous release of the demonic seed's genuine essence. In the blink of an eye, she broke through to the first level of the Supreme Power Realm. Then she reached the second level of the Supreme Power Realm, the third level of the Supreme Power Realm, the fifth level of the Supreme Power Realm. In less than half an hour, she had reached the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. Chapter 661. With the continuous improvement of her cultivation, Nalan Wuxia's white body was slowly covered with black qi. When her cultivation reached the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, the black qi had already covered her whole body and rushed to the top of her head. At this time, Nalan Wuxia was in great pain. She cried with a twisted face, "Haodong, help me. Wuxia, don't be afraid. I'm here. You'll be fine." Qin Haodong put on his clothes in a hurry, but he was not in a hurry to help. Although it was a little painful now, the seed magic method was good for improving Nalan Wuxia's cultivation. At this time, the layer of black qi covered the top of Nalan Wuxia's head and then rushed to her divine treasure. However, it was blocked by the silver needles several times in a row. "Boy, did you stab these silver needles in?" Nalan Wuxia opened her mouth and roared, but it was not her voice. Her voice was sharp and hoarse, with a hint of evil, which made people feel creepy when they heard it. Qin Haodong knew that this was the hidden person in the seed magic method. He said, "Yes, it was me. Hurry up and pull out the silver needles on her head." I'm helping your woman improve her cultivation. If you miss this opportunity, it will be too late for you to regret it. Qin Haodong sneered and said, it's okay to improve her cultivation, but why did you enter her divine treasure? I want to help her advance to the saint realm, so I naturally have to occupy the divine treasure. You won't understand it even if I tell you. You just need to pull out the silver needles. As if afraid that Qin Haodong did not believe it, the voice continued, I just think that your woman has a good aptitude, so I want to leave all my inheritance to her. After I help her advance to the saint realm, I will disappear without causing any harm to her. You sound like Lei Feng. Do you think I'm a fool? Qin Haodong sneered and said, the seed magic method is for possession. After you help her improve her cultivation, you will occupy this body. How can you be willing to leave? The man was stunned. Boy, you know the seed magic method? Qin Haodong said, I know a little. Seeing that her lie had been seen through, the woman shouted angrily, quickly pull out the silver needles and let me take over her body. That way, at least her body can survive. Otherwise, if you anger me, I'll make her explode and die. You won't get anything then. Explode and die? Do you have that ability? As the primordial spirit of the devil's seed, the most you can do is stop the devil's seed from transferring essence qi. You cannot do anything else. Even if you have the ability, do you dare to do it? If she dies, you will completely disappear into thin air. You won't even have the chance to reincarnate. Seeing that she couldn't scare Qin Haodong, the woman said, boy, as long as you let me occupy this body, I'll be yours in the future. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I promise I'll be obedient. Moreover, I can raise the cultivation of this body to the saint realm. At that time, you'll have a saint realm woman, and you'll be able to do whatever you want wherever you go. Not only will you not suffer any losses, but you'll also benefit greatly. Isn't that great? Qin Haodong sneered and said, she's my woman. How can an old monster like you replace her? Seeing that Qin Haodong was not moved by force or persuasion, the woman roared wildly again, boy, don't think that you can defeat me just like that. If you have the ability, you can put the 7 needles in her head forever. As long as you pull them out, I will immediately occupy this body. If it were before, I really couldn't do anything about it. But now it's different. It's your destiny. Go to hell. Qin Haodong said as he stretched out his hand, and a fiery red herb appeared in his palm. It was the soul refining grass he got from the herb garden. The soul refining grass was a herb often used by evil cultivators in the cultivation world. This herb would be crushed into powder and sprinkled on the body of the target, which would burn the 3 souls and 7 spirits of the target. Eventually, the target would be turned into a walking corpse, which would be used to refine a corpse puppet. Qin Haodong had thought that he wouldn't need this thing, but he had collected all the other herbs, so he put it in the storage ring. He didn't expect that it would come in handy now. He had locked Nalan Wuxia's 3 souls and 7 spirits in the divine treasure, so she would not be hurt by the soul refining grass. But the soul and the demonic seed would not work. It was definitely a fatal weapon for her. Because of this, when the man saw the soul refining grass, he was shocked and immediately begged, please, don't kill me. Don't kill me. As long as you let me go this time, I can give you a lot of treasures in my previous life. You can live a good life. No need. No amount of money can exchange for the woman I love. Qin Haodong said as he picked a few leaves from the soul refining grass. These leaves were enough to deal with one person. Boy, do you know who I am? I'm the previous leader of the Dark Gate. If you dare to do anything to me, the whole Dark Gate will become your enemy. At that time, there will be no place for you in the whole world. Seeing that the temptation had failed, the man began to threaten Qin Haodong and directly told him his identity. The previous leader of the Dark Gate? Qin Haodong was slightly stunned after hearing this. No wonder he was able to use this kind of demonic skill. It turned out that he was the previous leader of the Dark Gate. Seeing Qin Haodong stunned, the man thought that he was afraid. He shouted again, boy, are you afraid? As long as you pull out the silver needles now, I can let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, you will be the enemy of the whole Dark Gate. You think too much. I just killed the 4 King Kongs of the Dark Gate. I don't need a dead leader like you. After Qin Haodong said that, he rubbed his hands. The leaves of the soul-refining grass in his palms turned into countless powder and sprinkled it on Nalan Wuxia's body. It was strange that when the powder touched Nalan Wuxia's skin, it quickly disappeared like water dripping on a sponge. Ah! After being stained with the powder of the soul-refining grass, the soul in Nalan Wuxia's body let out a heart-wrenching scream. It was really like a ghost wailing and a wolf howling. Qin Haodong breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the soul-refining grass was really effective. Otherwise, he really had no way to get rid of the old ghost who was ready to possess him at any time. Boy, how dare you! With a roar, a huge pressure came from outside. This kind of pressure was unprecedented, far beyond that of a 9th-level Supreme Power Master. It almost made him feel suffocated, and the genuine qi in his body seemed to stop running. He was shocked. This was a saint. This villa with a sea view of the sea had floor-to-ceiling windows made of fiberglass. Under this huge pressure, they quickly shattered into powder, and then the overwhelming momentum pressed over like a landslide and a tsunami. Qin Haodong quickly pulled a bed sheet and covered Nalan Wuxia. He ran the genuine qi in his body frantically and stood in front of her to protect her. Boy, go to hell. With a very dignified roar, a sword qi, like lightning cutting through the sky, instantly came in front of Qin Haodong. Although he had reached the realm of supreme power and was the strongest 9th-level Supreme Power Master, he was still as helpless as a child in the face of a saint. If he dodged, he would have a chance to survive. Unfortunately, Nalan Wuxia was behind him. In any case, he could not dodge. Qin Haodong gritted his teeth and ran the greenwood genuine qi in his body to the extreme. He barely raised the Xian Yuan sword in his hand. However, he clearly felt that even if he slashed out with his sword, he could not resist this sharp sword qi. After all, a saint was a saint. Even the strongest Supreme Power Master could not resist it. Right at this moment, a chilly voice that was filled with rage resounded. Who dares to hurt my little brother? Then the melodious sound of the zither sounded, and the sound turned into countless spears, shooting at the sword qi. The spears formed by the sound of the zither were a little weaker than the sword qi. The first spear immediately dissipated in the air after colliding with the sword qi. However, there were many spears, one after another. Finally, when the sword qi shot in front of Qin Haodong, it disappeared into thin air. Qin Haodong breathed a sigh of relief. He put away the Xian Yuan sword and looked out of the window. There was a white-haired old woman standing on the left side of the window. Her momentum was extremely strong. She was a saint. There were 6 people standing behind the old woman, all of whom were experts at the 9th level of the Supreme Power realm. Opposite them, there were 3 people standing on the right side of the window. The leader was Jia Shihan, who had left not long ago. Behind her stood 2 middle-aged women who seemed to be in their 30s or 40s. They were the elders of the Yinsha sect, Yu Lingyun and Yu Bingyun. The white-haired old woman was holding a walking stick in her hand. She glanced at Jia Shihan and laughed. Her voice was extremely unpleasant to hear. Little girl, you are the newly promoted saint of the Yinsha sect, right? Let me tell you, although we are both saints, there is still a gap in cultivation. You can't stop me. I must kill that boy today. She looked at Qin Haodong coldly and said, Little guy, I really don't know who gave you the courage to kill the 4 great heavenly kings of our Devil Gate. Now you have destroyed the devil's seed of our Devil Gate. You must die today. The white-haired old woman was the leader of the Devil Gate, Yaoli. Behind her were the 6 great elders. It was no wonder that the leader of the Devil Gate had personally come out. Recently, the Devil Gate had suffered heavy losses. The leader of the Hehuan sect, Madam of Bones and Red-Eyebrowed Monster, had been seriously injured because they had used the blood-drawing skill. The leader of the Maihun sect, Xiao Luochen, was seriously injured. The 1,000-armed man and the 100-face evil king were both injured and disabled. The 4 great heavenly kings were all killed. The Devil Gate had been fighting with the Zihang Sword House for so many years. It was the first time that they had suffered such a big loss, and it was even one-sided. The Zihang Sword House was unscathed, and all of this was thanks to the young man in front of him. Thinking of this, Yao Li's eyes released a monstrous killing intent. This kind of killing intent made Qin Haodong breathless, and he had the urge to vomit blood at any time. Clang! 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 Jia Shihan quickly played the 7-stringed guqin in her hand, and the notes helped Qin Haodong resolve the pressure in front of him. Yao Li chuckled, revealing his incomplete teeth. "Little girl, you can't stop me." Jia Shihan suddenly felt the pressure increase. She had just advanced to the Saint Realm not long ago and was still far from being able to fight against Yao Li. At this moment, another clear voice sounded, "Yao Li, you are really getting more and more useless. You only know how to bully the younger generation." Chapter 662. After hearing the shout, Yao Li's expression changed greatly. He looked in the direction of the voice and saw a white figure flashing over, followed by 9 other figures. The leader was a woman in white. She wore a white dress, had long hair, and carried a sword on her back. There was a majestic look on her delicate face. She was walking in the air, as if she was a saint. The 9 people behind her were also at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, and one of them was Feng Wu. She was Xianyuan Ligay, the current sword master of the Zihang Sword House, and the other 8 people were the 8 elders of the Zihang Sword House. "Xianyuan Ligay, I didn't expect you to come." Yao Li's expression was extremely solemn. The Devil Gate and the Zihang Sword House had been fighting for so many years, but they had never been so passive like now. The other side had 2 Saint-level experts and 11 9th-level Supreme Power Masters. Such a powerful force was enough to crush them. But at this time, there was no way to retreat. With her cultivation, of course, she could retreat unscathed, but the 6 elders behind her would definitely not be able to escape from Xianyuan Ligay's sword, and there was another saint, Jia Shihan. She came to Shanghai this time for the demonic seed in Nalan Wuxia's body. According to her calculation, it was time for the demonic seed to hatch. There was another new saint on the Zihang Sword House's side, which put a lot of pressure on them. If the demonic seed could be reborn, the Devil Gate would also have 2 saints, which would be enough to compete with the Zihang Sword House. That was why she rushed over with the 6 elders to protect them. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. The Zihang Sword House actually used this opportunity to set up a huge trap for them. If the demonic seed could hatch successfully, it would be a worthwhile trip. But Qin Haodong had used 7 needles to stop the demonic seed from being reborn and used the soul-refining grass to destroy the primordial spirit of the previous Yao Li. This was completely unexpected. Xianyuan Ligay said, "Yao Li, we have been fighting for so many years. It's time to end it today." Yao Li shouted sternly, "Xianyuan Ligay, do you really want to fight to the death? Even if you have the upper hand today, if you really want to fight, you will have to pay a heavy price. It's the duty of the Zihang Sword House to eliminate the demons and defend the Tao. As long as we can kill you, we don't mind sacrificing a few lives." Xianyuan Ligay said to the people behind her, "Elders, it's time to kill the demons. Follow the sword master to slay demons and devils." Jia Shihan, Feng Wu, and the other elders shouted and pulled out the swords in their hands one after another. For a moment, the sword aura filled the air and was breathtaking. There was a flash of despair in Yao Li's eyes. The difference in strength was so great that the result of the fight could be imagined. However, she still shouted fiercely, "Elders, even if we die, we have to capture some people from the Zihang Sword House to die with us." Xianyuan Ligay looked serious. She raised her hand and pulled out the sword behind her. A life-and-death battle was about to break out. At this moment, someone shouted, "Wait a minute." Everyone turned around and found that it was Qin Haodong who spoke. Xianyuan Ligay did not say anything. She said, Haodong, if you have anything to say, wait until we kill these evildoers of the Devil Gate. Qin Haodong said, we can't kill these people. Let them go. After he said that, the expressions of the others suddenly changed. Not only were the people of the Zihang Sword House shocked, but even the people of the Devil Gate were puzzled. Logically speaking, Yao Li was about to kill him just now. He should have taken the opportunity to take revenge. How could he let these people go? Xianyuan Ligay kept a straight face and did not say anything. She knew that the young man in front of her was the sacred master of the Zihang Sword House. The reason why she did not come to greet him immediately was that she was afraid that Qin Haodong's identity would be revealed and the experts of the Devil Gate would hunt him down. According to the rules of the Zihang Sword House, the sacred master was the master of the house. They had to obey all the orders of the sacred master unconditionally, so she remained silent. Feng Wu said anxiously, Haodong, what do you mean? Do you know how much time and manpower it took us to set up this trap? After so many years, we finally found an opportunity to severely injure the Devil Gate. How can we let them go? She really felt that this opportunity was too rare. Even if she couldn't kill Jiang Li today, she could definitely seriously injure him. As for the other 6 9th-level Supreme Power Realm Elders, none of them could leave. They all had to stay here. In fact, it's not necessary at all. We've been fighting for so many years, and it's all a mistake. Qin Haodong knew that today was the best time to tell the truth, so he briefly told them how he entered the forbidden area of the Jiuli tribe and got the truth about the ancient war, under the surprised eyes of many people. Finally, he said, in fact, Qiyu was not killed by the Yellow Emperor at all, but by the alien demon. And now the remnants of the alien demon are still on Earth, waiting for an opportunity to tear open a space hole again and lead their clansmen to Earth, completely exterminating our human race. Now we no longer have ancient mighty figures like the Yellow Emperor and Qiyu. If the space hole is opened, only extinction awaits us. So what we have to do is to unite, improve our strength as much as possible, and completely eliminate the remnants of the alien demon. After he finished speaking, everyone showed a look of horror, including Xianyuan Ligay, who had always been calm. Her face was also filled with horror. Qin Haodong continued, so it's a mistake for the Zihang Sword House to fight with the Devil Gate for so many years. This is all a trap left by the alien demon emperor. We have a common enemy, which is the alien demon, so there's no need to fight anymore. Yao Li was shocked. The Devil Gate had fought with the descendants of the Yellow Emperor for so many years. Could it be that it was all a mistake and they were all used by others? She couldn't accept it for a while. She said, boy, why should we believe you? Qin Haodong said, I'm not a soft-hearted person. I did kill your 4 heavenly kings, but that was before I knew the news. If it weren't for the alien demon and if it weren't for the sake of preserving the combat power of the human race, do you think I would have asked the Sword Master to let you go? The reason why I let you leave is that we are all strong. In order to preserve the strength of the human race against the alien demon, we shouldn't kill each other. Yao Li lowered her head and said nothing. It was indeed as Qin Haodong had said. Now that Zihang Sword House had the absolute advantage, so there was no need to lie to her. Qin Haodong added, I've found the whereabouts of the alien demon, which means that it's not far from the day they take action. I hope that you can focus on the overall situation and don't kill each other in a short time. Yao Li turned to look at Xianyuan Ligay and asked, what do you think? She did not know Qin Haodong's identity as the sacred master. In her opinion, the final decision was still in Xianyuan Ligay's hands. Xianyuan Ligay nodded and said, I believe it's true. In order to maintain the strength of our human race, you can leave. If this was said by someone else, she might have listened to it as a story. But now it was the sacred master of the Zihang Sword House who was telling all this, so she had to be cautious. Yao Li was shocked. Are you sure you want me to leave? This is a rare opportunity for your Zihang Sword House. Xianyuan Ligay said, I've already said that this is just a misunderstanding. We've been fighting for thousands of years. Now it's time to rest. Yao Li said, do you really believe this little brother's words? Unconsciously, the way she addressed Qin Haodong had also changed. I believe him. Well, since you choose to believe this little brother, I believe him too. Yao Li said, on behalf of the Devil Gate, I swear to God that I will not take the initiative to attack the Zihang Sword House within 10 years. As for 10 years later, let's see if what he said is true. If the alien demon really appears, then what he said is true. If everything is calm, then what he said is false. Our Devil Gate will continue to avenge our ancestor, Chiyu. After that, she turned around and left with the 6 elders behind her. Scholar Legay of the Zihang Sword House greets the Sacred Master. Elder Shijian of the Zihang Sword House greets the Sacred Master. Elder Jianxin of the Zihang Sword House greets the Sacred Master. After the people of the Devil Gate left, under the leadership of Xianyuan Legay, a group of people from the Zihang Sword House greeted Qin Haodong together. Qin Haodong was slightly stunned. He waved his hand and said, Sword Master, we don't have to be so polite. He turned around and came to Nalan Wuxia's side. At this time, the primordial spirit in the demonic seed had been completely burned by the soul-eating grass. Without the control of the primordial spirit, the demonic seed in her dantian had also stopped. But at this time, it had become a white bead, which was condensed from pure internal energy. Nalan Wuxia's cultivation stayed at the peak of level 9. At this time, she was already in a coma. Qin Haodong knew that she had improved so much in succession and had consumed too much of her mind. He felt her pulse and made sure that there was no problem, so he did not wake her up. Feng Wu said, Haodong, what you just said is true. Is there really an alien demon? Xianyuan Legay scolded, Feng Wu, how can you talk to the Sacred Master like that? Master, I know I'm wrong. Feng Wu quickly said. She was used to being with Qin Haodong, but now she realized that her master was by her side. Qin Haodong said, Sword Master, there's no need to be so formal. There's no need to call me Sacred Master. Just call me Little Qin. Xianyuan Legay hurriedly said respectfully, Sacred Master, I don't dare. Qin Haodong shook his head secretly. He really didn't understand how there could be such a conservative person in the current society. It seemed that he had to hurry up and spread the Xianyuan skill in the future and find a man to marry these old fogies. He said, how did you get here today? Xianyuan Legay said, ever since you were besieged in Hong Kong, our Zihang Sword House has stepped up the monitoring of the people of the Devil Gate. We found that their other elders had come to Shanghai, and there were even signs that they were going to leave. So I brought people here to protect you. Qin Haodong said, well, it's all in the past. Don't take the initiative to conflict with them in the future. Yes, Sacred Master. Xianyuan Legay said, Sacred Master, what should the Zihang Sword House do next? Please tell us. Chapter 663. Since these stubborn people believed that he was the Sacred Master, Qin Haodong had no choice but to say, seize all the time to improve your strength and closely collect information about the alien demon. This is the most important thing for the Zihang Sword House in the future. Yes, Sacred Master. Xianyuan Legay led the people of the Zihang Sword House and answered in unison. Qin Haodong took out a small jade bottle from his pocket and handed it to Xianyuan Legay. This is the spiritual qi pill I refined. It can help you improve your current cultivation. Xianyuan Legay was overjoyed. At her level of cultivation, it was extremely difficult to make further progress. There were very few pills in the world that could help a saint improve his cultivation. Because of this, she had been fighting with Yao Li all these years and no one could surpass the other. If these pills could help her improve her cultivation and break through the early stage of the Saint Realm, then even if the Devil Gate made any moves in the future, she could easily destroy them. Thank you for the pills, Sacred Master. After bowing, she respectfully took the small jade bottle. The other members of the sword school gazed at the small jade bottle with a wisp of envy in their eyes. When one's cultivations had attained such a realm, every single small step forward had to be paid an extremely great price, so being able to find a suitable medicinal pill would undoubtedly allow them to achieve twice the results with half the effort. But there was almost no pill in this world that could help a level 9 Supreme Power Master break through to the Saint Realm. But to their surprise, Qin Haodong turned around and took out another bag of pills and handed it to Feng Wu. This is the Saint Pill I recently refined. It can help a level 9 Supreme Power Master quickly break through the bottleneck and reach the Saint Realm. One for each person. Help me distribute it to everyone. After hearing what he said, everyone was stunned. An elixir that could help a 9th level Supreme Power Master break through to the Saint Realm was definitely a rare treasure in this world. Any one of them could set off a bloody storm in Jianghu. It was very difficult for a level 9 Supreme Power Master to become a saint. It could be seen from the rare number of saints in the world. However, Qin Haodong had taken out so many of these extremely precious elixirs so casually. Only the Sacred Lord could be so generous. Under many amazed gazes, Feng Wu began to distribute the pills. Brother, Jia Shihan came to Qin Haodong's side. She seemed to be a little shy and her red cheeks looked exceptionally cute. Shihan, thank you for helping me just now. Qin Haodong also had a good impression of this innocent little girl. He took out a bag of elixirs and secretly stuffed it into her hand. There were all kinds of elixirs, such as spirit culturing elixir, energy gathering elixir, and healing elixirs. Take this. When you go back, distribute it to the people in your sect. Now that you are also the sect leader, remember that carrots and sticks are the way of the king. Little brother, it's my duty to help you. I can't take anything from you. Silly girl, this is brother's gift to you. It has nothing to do with helping or not. Hurry up and take it. Qin Haodong said as he stuffed the bag in his hand into Jia Shihan's hand. Feeling the warmth of Qin Haodong's palm, Jia Shihan became more and more shy and no longer refused. Little brother, I still want to live with you. I've missed you so much. In just a few words, Jia Shihan seemed to have exhausted all her strength. After she finished speaking, she lowered her head until her chin touched her chest. Although she had become the sect leader of the Insha sect during this period of time, she was actually not happy. She often thought of the days when she was with Qin Haodong. Qin Haodong said, "You stay in the sect for a while. When we wipe out the alien demons, I'll make a paradise and we can all go there happily." Little brother, is what you said true? You're not lying to me, are you? Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? At this time, Feng Wu had already distributed the elixirs. The elders of the Zihang Sword House were holding the saint elixirs in their hands. They were very excited and looked at Qin Haodong with gratitude and admiration. Xianyuan Ligay said, "Since it's over, let's hurry up and go back to cultivate." Qin Haodong took out another bag of elixirs and handed it to her. He said, "Go back and take it to the other disciples in the sect to improve their strength as soon as possible." Xianyuan Ligay nodded and left with the elders of the Insha sect. Feng Wu did not leave and stayed by his side. Jia Shihan waved her hand at Qin Haodong and reluctantly left with the others. After saying goodbye to everyone, Qin Haodong turned around to check on Nalan Wuxia's situation. He carefully scanned her from head to toe with his spirit and made sure that the soul left in the demonic seed had been completely killed by the soul refining pill. Then he took out the 7 needles on her head. At this time, Nalan Wuxia's cultivation had advanced to the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, and there was a crystal-clear jade bead in her dantian. This was left behind after the demonic seed had removed the soul. It was the pure essence of the previous generation Yaoli, without any impurities. As long as Nalan Wuxia could absorb all the essence, she would immediately be able to become a saint. Originally, Qin Haodong could wait for Nalan Wuxia to complete the breakthrough of the saint realm before killing the soul in the demonic seed. But if she broke through too quickly, it would cause her foundation to be unstable and leave hidden dangers for her further improvement in the future. Therefore, Qin Haodong chose to stop at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. He wanted to accumulate here for a period of time, solidify his foundation, and then make a breakthrough. Only in this way could he go further. After the silver needles were taken out, Nalan Wuxia slowly opened her eyes. When she saw Qin Haodong, she said, "What happened to me just now? How did I suddenly become like this?" Qin Haodong told her about the demonic seed and then said, "The demonic seed was secretly planted in you by the people of the devil cult 10 years ago. It just hatched suddenly. If I hadn't been around, the consequences would have been serious. You would have been possessed by the soul and the demonic seed and become another person. You're lucky. I happened to get a soul refining grass a few days ago. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult to get rid of the soul in your body." "That's terrible." Nalan Wuxia was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat. If her body was taken away, it would be no different from being dead. She thought for a moment and said, "Now that you mention it, I suddenly remembered that 10 years ago, I suddenly had a fever for 3 days and 3 nights in a row, but I couldn't find any reason. It must have been the demonic seed that was planted in me at that time. Fortunately, Haodong is here." Sister Nalan got a blessing in disguise. Only then did Nalan Wuxia notice Feng Wu next to her. Realizing her current state, she quickly wrapped the bed sheet tightly and said shyly, "Sister Feng Wu, you're here too. We'll be a family in the future. There's no need to be shy." Qin Haodong teased Nalan Wuxia and then said, "Feng Wu is right. You really got a blessing in disguise this time. The demonic seed has helped you improve your cultivation to the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. Stabilize it for a period of time, and then absorb the remaining essence. Then, you can enter the threshold of the Saint Realm." After explaining the situation, Nalan Wuxia said shyly, "Can you go out first?" Although she had now become a couple with Qin Haodong, it was not good for her to change her clothes in front of 2 outsiders. "Isn't it just changing clothes? We're not outsiders." While Qin Haodong was talking, he saw that Nalan Wuxia was about to explode. He quickly said, "Can't we turn around?" After that, he and Feng Wu turned around and saw that the sea view room had become dilapidated. He could not help shaking his head, took out his mobile phone and dialed Ma Wenjua's number. "How is it, boss? Did I arrange it well for you? How is the effect? If it's possible, I'll follow this path in the future. I'll find a girl as soon as possible so that I can get rid of being single." Qin Haodong said awkwardly, "The house is not bad, but there was an accident. Come and have a look." Ma Wenjua said, "What's wrong? You didn't bring a married woman there, did you? Don't tell me her husband is here to fight? Do you want me to bring more brothers over to support you?" Qin Haodong said with annoyance, "Don't talk nonsense. You'll know when you come here." At this time, he did not want Ma Wenjua to come over. He did not know whether he had borrowed or rented this sea view villa. He had to give Ma Wenjua an explanation. Ma Wenjua was really fast. It didn't take him long to appear in the room. Looking at the dilapidated sea view room in front of him, he was shocked. "Boss, you're too fierce, aren't you? Isn't it just rolling in the sheets? Why did you roll the windows? Are you all right?" Hearing his words, Nalan Wuxia, who had just put on her clothes, became even more shy. Her cheeks were so red that it seemed that blood was about to drip out. She wanted to find a hole to hide in. "What nonsense are you talking about? There was an accident just now." Qin Haodong raised his hand and hit Ma Wenjua's head. "Whose house is this? Hurry up and fix it, and then pay some money. If it doesn't work, I'll go and apologize to them." Ma Wenjua said with a smile, "There's no need to apologize. In fact, this house is yours. I won't feel bad even if it is demolished." "Mine?" Qin Haodong said in surprise, "When did such a sea view house appear? Why didn't I know about it?" Ma Wenjua said, "You still don't know your status in Shanghai. Many people are trying to curry favor with you. This is a gift from a second-class family. They couldn't find you, so they sent it to me. You've been appearing and disappearing every day, and I couldn't find you, so I put it in my hands for the time being. Now that you're back, the house is returned to its original owner. You can do whatever you want with it." Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and find someone to fix the house, and then call all the people of Daddy's security company back. I have something to say. After Qin Haodong said that, he let Feng Wu and Nailan Wuxia go back to his home first. At this point, the Nailan sisters had something to talk about. It was not convenient for him to stay at home. After the two left, he and Ma Wenjue went to Daddy's security company together. At this time, all the members of the company had gathered at the training ground. Qin Haodong said, "How's everyone's cultivation recently?" "That's pretty good." Speaking of cultivation, Ma Wenjue said excitedly, "Now half of the people in our company have reached the supreme power realm, and the rest are also at the 9th level of covert power. They are only one step away from the supreme power realm." Chapter 664. Ma Wenjue became more and more excited as he spoke. He was no longer a layman who had just entered the martial arts world. He was very familiar with the situation of the martial arts world and knew how difficult it was for a martial artist to become a supreme power master. Some people could not even touch this threshold in their entire lives. In contrast, it was a miracle that they could make such a big improvement in such a short period of time. Of course, he also knew that all this was due to Qin Haodong. Without good cultivation methods and elixirs, there would be no Daddy security company today. In particular, the enhanced version of the elixir refined some time ago was like an elixir of immortality. Otherwise, these people would not have made such rapid progress. "Boss, do you know what level I'm at now?" "I'm a level 6 Supreme Power Master now." He had a complacent expression on his face. This level of improvement was absolutely shocking. This time, boss should at least praise him a little. Qin Haodong glanced at him with a faint smile. "Do you think being a level 6 Supreme Power Master is amazing?" "Of course it's amazing. The most important thing is that we're making rapid progress." Seeing Ma Wenjue's complacent face, Qin Haodong patted him on the shoulder and said, "Tell me, which one of the people around me can you beat?" Ma Wenjue was a little dumbfounded. Nailan Wuxuang had come to the Daddy security company a few days after Qin Haodong went to the Hmong village. At that time, he wanted to show off his cultivation, but he did not expect to be defeated in one move. It turned out that Qin Haodong was already a level 9 Supreme Power Master. He thought about the women around Qin Haodong one by one. It seemed that he could not beat any of them. Qin Haodong said jokingly, "I can give you an answer. The only person in our family that you can beat is Tang Tang." Ma Wenjue was speechless again. Since when did he, the Kailan holy body, become so weak that he could only bully children? "Well, although you've made great progress, you're still far behind. Our enemies are very powerful, so you have to hurry up and improve." Qin Haodong then said to Ma Wenjue, "Especially you have to hurry up and cultivate. Otherwise, if Tang Tang catches up with you one day, you'll really lose face." "Boss. Ma Wenjue's face was full of grief and indignation. Qin Haodong took out the elixirs he had prepared in advance and said, "Give these elixirs to everyone. Take them now and practice hard. I happen to have time today. I'll give you some advice here." Hearing that the boss wanted to help them improve their cultivation, the employees of Daddy's security company were very excited. After receiving the pills, they sat cross-legged on the training ground and began to cultivate and break through. Qin Haodong was patrolling the crowd with his hands behind his back. When someone was at the critical point of breaking through, he would go up and give them a slap or a kick to help them break through the bottleneck. These elixirs refined with 5,000-year-old medicinal materials were much more powerful than the previous ones. Towards evening, all the members of the Daddy security company had completed their breakthroughs. The worst among them was at the first level of the Supreme Power Realm, and the outstanding ones had already reached the 4th level of the Supreme Power Realm. Ma Wenjue had also advanced to the 7th level of the Supreme Power Realm. Seeing that it was almost time, Qin Haodong left the Daddy security company and walked towards the parking lot. Just as he opened the door, a figure rushed towards him from behind. Qin Haodong's body instantly tightened, but he soon relaxed. The figure came behind him, reached out to cover his eyes, and deliberately said in a rough voice, "Little handsome, guess who I am?" Qin Haodong suddenly turned around, held the person in his arms, and kissed her fiercely. After a long time, the two slowly separated. Qin Haodong said, "You little fox, where have you been recently? Why can't you get through to me?" Hu Shaoxian giggled and said, "I can't help it. The Xianyuan pavilion sent me out to perform a task. I just came back a few days ago. After reporting in the capital, I came to find you." She stretched out her hands and put them around Qin Haodong's neck. "Did you miss me while I was away?" "Of course I did." "Then what should you do?" Hu Shaoxian said affectionately, and her two big eyes seemed to be dripping water. "Get in the car." Qin Haodong carried Hu Shaoxian into the car, and then drove to the Sea View Villa again. Although a room was destroyed during the day, there were many rooms in this villa, so he just needed to change another one. As the saying goes, absence makes the heart grow fonder. After entering the house, the two of them were like dry firewood that had been ignited. The fire was burning, and they soon went into battle. After a long time, the storm stopped. The two of them hugged each other tightly and lay lazily on the bed. Hu Shaoxian reached out and drew circles on his chest. She said coquettishly, "You said that you missed me, but you hooked up with women when I was away." Qin Haodong said with a guilty conscience, "I didn't. You still have the nerve to say that? Yan Feifei, the great witch of the Yan family, has been hooked up with you." Qin Haodong was shocked and said, "How did you know?" "It's really you." Hu Shaoxian was just guessing at first. Seeing his reaction, she knew that she was right. Qin Haodong said nervously, "Tell me, how did you know? How many other people know about this? Does Yan Feifei know about it?" Hu Shaoxian said, "Just some time ago, Yan Feifei publicly announced that she had a man, and the Yan family officially announced that they had broken off their previous engagement with Qin Zongheng. But no one knew who the man was, and the Yan family did not make any explanation. But later, Yan Feifei often took a pill and asked people everywhere, trying to find out where the pill came from. I saw the pill by chance. Others might not know it, but I knew it very well. It was the spirit-strengthening pill. No one in the world can refine the spirit-strengthening pill except you, so I guess you are that man." Qin Haodong asked, "You didn't tell anyone, did you?" Hu Shaoxian said, "Of course not." Qin Haodong let out a long breath. Although Yan Feifei had broken off the engagement with his father, it was not easy to say. "Tell me, how did you hook up with Yan Feifei? How did you make her fall in love with you?" Hu Shaoxian's face was full of excitement. Qin Haodong glanced at her and said, "Shouldn't you be jealous? When I meet a man like you, I will die of jealousy." Hu Shaoxian smiled and said, "Tell me, how did you hook up with Yan Feifei?" Qin Haodong had no choice but to tell her the story of his encounter with Yan Feifei. Finally, he said, "In that situation, I really had no other way. Otherwise, both of us would have died." After hearing that, Hu Shaoxian sighed and said, "It's God's will. Yan Feifei is a poor person. Your father ran away from her before she got married. Now you are sent to her, which is a kind of compensation from God." Qin Haodong shook his head with a wry smile. It was indeed God's will. Hu Shaoxian said, "In fact, you don't have to worry about it. Yan Feifei and your father just had an engagement, and it was forced by their parents. Now the engagement has been broken. She is completely free and has the right to pursue her own love. Although she is a little old, Yan Feifei has maintained herself well over the years. You can't tell that she is a woman in her 30s at all. You don't suffer a loss." During this period of time, due to special reasons, Yan Feifei had been bringing great pressure to him. Now hearing Hu Shaoxian's words, he felt much better. Hu Shaoxian smiled strangely and said, "Yan Feifei has a new man. This matter has a great impact in the capital, but it's not the most influential one. It can only be ranked second." Qin Haodong asked with interest, "What's the first one?" Yan Feifei was the eldest princess of the Yan family and a 9th-level supreme power master. Coupled with the past with Qin Zongheng, her influence in the capital was absolutely top. Even so, it could only be ranked second. The first one was definitely a big deal. Hu Shaoxian said coquettishly, "Do you want to know?" "If you want to know, you have to behave well, or I won't tell you." Qin Haodong said, "It's fine if you don't want to say it. It has nothing to do with me anyway." Hu Shaoxian's sly face came in front of him. "Are you sure you don't want to know? How do you know it has nothing to do with you? If you don't know, I promise you will regret it for the rest of your life." "You little devil, see how I'll deal with you." Qin Haodong turned over and pressed her under his body. The two of them started fighting again. This time, Qin Haodong directly used the double cultivation method. 2 hours later, Hu Xiaoxian's cultivation was also raised to the 9th-level supreme power realm. After the two separated, Hu Xiaoxian felt the majestic genuine qi in her body. She said in shock, "You are really a piece of flesh. You have reached the 9th-level supreme power realm so quickly. It seems that I only need to enjoy staying with you. I don't need to work hard to cultivate at all." Qin Haodong said with a smirk, "You've finished enjoying yourself. Now it's time to tell you what it is. You've done a good job, so I'll tell you." Hu Shaoxian whispered in his ear, "Qi Wan, is going to get married." Although her voice was not loud, it sounded like thunder in Qin Haodong's ears. He jumped up and shouted, "Shaoxian, what did you say? You can't joke about this kind of thing." Qi Wan, was his woman, and she loved him very much. It could be said that she would not change until death. This time she went back to the capital to visit her relatives. How could she get married so soon? Hu Shaoxian said, "Of course it's not a joke. Now the whole capital knows that her engagement ceremony will be held in 3 days." Qin Haodong saw that she was serious and did not seem to be joking. He quickly took out his mobile phone and dialed Qi Wan's number. There was a tone and the phone could not be connected. Hu Shaoxian said, "There's no need to call. I heard that Qi Wan has been placed under house arrest by her family. She can't take a step out of the house, nor can she contact the outside world." Qin Haodong said with a gloomy expression, "Tell me, what the hell is going on?" Chapter 665. "I knew that you were worried about Sister Wan, so I specially inquired about her for you. I have already found out the situation." Hu Shaoxian began to tell. It turned out that Qi Wan did go back to visit her relatives this time. She wanted to see her family, especially her mother. It was the first time for her to go home after she recovered from her illness. When the Qi family saw that the originally ugly little girl had grown up to be a beauty, it immediately caused a great sensation. Qi Wan's mother, Shi Zhixuan, was even more ecstatic. However, she was worried about her daughter's future, so she asked the first master in the capital, Yuan Tianren, to tell Qi Wan's fortune. After Taoist Yuan saw it, he said that Qi Wan was bound to have good fortune after surviving the disaster. Now she had become a rare appearance that could bring prosperity to her husband. She was so precious that whoever could marry her would definitely be rich and have a meteoric rise in their career. Yuan Tianren was the most famous feng shui master in the imperial capital. Rumor had it that he could foresee the future for 500 years. Everyone believed in his words without a doubt, especially the aristocratic families. His words were regarded as the golden rule. After the news spread, the Qi family was immediately crowded. The matchmakers from the big families came to propose marriage. They all wanted to marry this rare appearance that could bring fortune to their husbands. The Qi family was very happy about this result. After some screening, the family master, Qi Guofan, finally decided to marry Zhao Hongkuan and Qi Wan to the Zhao family. Qi Wan did not expect that a simple fortune-telling would be made like this by Yuan Tianren. She repeatedly told her grandfather that she already had a boyfriend. However, for the children of big families like them, marriage could not be decided by themselves. Instead, they were reprimanded by her father, Qi Yulong. Qi Yulong was very satisfied with this marriage. First of all, the relationship between the Qi family and the Zhao family had always been good. If the two families were united by marriage, it would be of great benefit to the development of the family in the future. In addition, he was also very satisfied with Zhao Hongquan. Among the younger generation in the capital, Zhao Hongquan was definitely a leading figure. The young man was very handsome and steady. He would be one of the important candidates for the master of the Zhao family in the future. Because of this, he didn't even bother to ask who his daughter's boyfriend was and directly denied it. There was no other way. Qi Wan decided to escape from the marriage. But before she could escape from the Qi family's courtyard, she was caught by Qi Yulong and her cultivation was sealed. She was ordered to reflect at home and was not allowed to leave before the engagement. After listening to Hu Shaoxian, Qin Haodong's face was gloomy. He said coldly, "Is Yuan Tianren the Taoist Yuan of the Chu family?" Hu Shaoxian said, "It's him. The master of the Chu family also respects him very much. That damned ox knows. He's really haunting me." At the mention of Yuan Tianren, Qin Haodong was full of killing intent. Back then, it was this old Taoist who talked nonsense in the Chu family. After breaking up the marriage between Qin Zongheng and Chu Xianyue, he said that the ancestral grave of the Chu family was a place where fairies were naked and asked the Chu family to kill him. If it weren't for this damned old Taoist, he wouldn't have been separated from his mother. Before he could take revenge on him, Yuan Tianren had brought such a big trouble to Qi Wan. At this moment, he had already listed Yuan Tianren on the list of people he must kill. In addition, the Qi family actually forced Qi Wan to marry Zhao Hongquan, which made him even more furious. He hated this kind of arranged marriage in a big family. It was precisely because of this bad habit driven by interests that led to the destruction of his family. He became an orphan since he was a child and had not found where his father was until now. "I'll take people to the Qi family now and take Wan back. I'll kill anyone who stands in my way," Qin Haodong said with a murderous look. After that, he was about to get up and leave. Hu Shaoxian quickly stopped him and said, "Haodong, calm down. It's not appropriate to do this." Qin Haodong said angrily, "Don't worry. With my current strength, I don't care about the Qi family." He was indeed full of confidence now. Lin Momo, Nalan Wushuang, Nalan Wuxia, Feng Wu, and Hu Shaoxian in front of him were all at the 9th level of the Supreme Power realm. Their cultivation was far higher than the 9th level of the Supreme Power realm of the 7 great families. This did not include the Zihang Sword House, which was under his command. In addition, he also controlled the Daddy Security Company. There were hundreds of Supreme Power Masters, which was extremely powerful no matter where they were. Hu Shaoxian said, "I'm not worried about your strength, but it's not appropriate to do this." "What's not appropriate?" "I can't watch them force Wan, to marry someone else." Hu Shaoxian said, "Have you ever thought that if force could solve everything, why did Qin Zongheng wander outside for so many years? With his cultivation, I'm afraid he has already entered the ranks of the Saint Realm. As long as he is willing, neither the Qin family nor the Chu family can fight against him." Qin Haodong slowly calmed down and asked, "Why?" Hu Shaoxian said, "Love without the blessing of family is not happy." This sentence applies not only to ordinary people, but also to the children of big families. Because of this, your father was forced to be engaged to Yan Feifei. Because of this, Aunt Chu did not elope with Qin Zongheng. In their dreams, they always want to get the blessing of their family. If you really take Wan away, then she will completely lose the Qi family. Although she can live with you for a lifetime without regrets, this is not what she wants. Qin Haodong said with annoyance, "Then what do you think I should do? I can't just watch her marry that brat surnamed Xiao." "Don't worry, I've already thought of a way for you." A sly smile appeared on the corner of Hu Shaoxian's mouth. Qin Haodong said eagerly, "Then tell me, what should I do? If you want to do it with a bang." If you want to steal the bride, you should do it at the engagement scene. That's the only way to enjoy it. Are you sure this will work? Qin Haodong did not expect Hu Shaoxian to come up with such an idea. It seemed that it was even more intense than his. Listen to me, it's definitely right. Hu Shaoxian said confidently, in the aristocratic families, there is no so-called love, only eternal interests. The reason why the Qi family chose to marry the Zhao family was that on the one hand, the Zhao family was powerful and belonged to the top aristocratic families in the capital. On the other hand, Zhao Hongquan was indeed very outstanding. At a young age, he had already reached the 5th level of the supreme power realm. He was known as a martial arts genius after Qin Zongheng. He was deeply appreciated by the master of the Zhao family and was likely to be the heir of the Zhao family in the future. But no matter how outstanding he is, he can't be compared to my man. What you have to do now is to let everyone see that you are better and have more powerful strength than the Zhao family. As long as you show that you are strong enough and let them see enough benefits, you can get the approval of the Qi family and get to marry you. In contrast, stealing the bride on the spot is the best way to show your strength. In fact, Hu Shaoxian came up with this idea on the spur of the moment. After seeing Qin Haodong's cultivation, she came up with this idea of stealing the bride in a high-profile way. Qin Haodong had slowly calmed down from the shock of the initial news. He closed his eyes slightly and thought about Hu Shaoxian's words from beginning to end. He also considered his overall plan and the situation in the capital. This time he returned to the capital. The most important thing to do was to do 3 things. First, to stop Qi Wan's marriage and take her back. Second, to integrate the power of all the aristocratic families and prepare to fight against the alien demon. Third, to reunite the mother and son and build a happy family for his mother. It was impossible to do these 3 things in a low-key manner. Stealing the bride required strength, reuniting the mother and son needed to shock the Chu family, integrating the power of all the aristocratic families and making them follow his lead. More importantly, he needed to show his super strength. After comprehensive consideration, it was indeed a good way to kidnap the bride with violence. It could achieve his 3 purposes easily, directly and efficiently. At the same time, he could let his forces enter the capital in a high-profile manner and stand above the 7 aristocratic families. Thinking of this, he nodded and said, "That's a good idea. Let's get ready and do it." Now that he had made up his mind, he took Hu Shaoxian back to his home and gathered Lin Momo and others together to discuss the matter of entering the capital in a high-profile manner. Nalan Wushuang and Nalan Wuxia sat together hand in hand. Obviously, they had talked about it. The result seemed to be very harmonious, which made Qin Haodong secretly relieved. After introducing Hu Shaoxian to Feng Wu, he told them about Qi Wan's forced marriage and his plan to kidnap the bride. He was a little worried that the other women would object because of jealousy after he revealed his plan to kidnap the bride. Unexpectedly, there was a faint flash of excitement in the eyes of these people, as if they were very interested. He licked his lips and asked, "This is my plan. Do you have any opinions?" This idea was Hu Shaoxian's, so she naturally would not object. Feng Wu did not speak but just nodded, but her attitude was very obvious. As long as Qin Haodong wanted to do it, she would do it. The order of the Sacred Lord was above everything. Lin Momo said, "Sister Wan is also our sister. We can't let her be wronged." Nalan Wushuang said, "I agree with Sister Momo." There was a flash of excitement on Nalan Wuxia's face and she said, "It's exciting to think about kidnapping the bride in public. When will I ask my family to marry me, and then you can do it again?" Qin Haodong was speechless. It was enough to kidnap the bride once. He didn't want it to happen again. Since everyone had no opinion on the matter of kidnapping the bride, he told them all about his plan to enter the capital. After a careful discussion, he decided that Lin Momo would stay in Shanghai for the time being. After all, there were still many things to be solved here. After all, he had to leave a trustworthy person to handle it. Originally, Qin Haodong planned to enter the capital 3 years later. Now the appearance of Chu Xianyue and the alien demon had greatly advanced the plan. Except for Lin Momo, everyone else followed Qin Haodong to the capital, including Daddy's security company. The preparation time was 3 days. 3 days later, they would cause a big shock to all the big families in the capital. Chapter 666. The Qi family in the capital. Today was the engagement day of Qi Wan, the eldest daughter of the Qi family, and Zhao Hongkuan of the Zhao family. According to the customs of the capital, the engagement banquet should be held at the bride's house first, and then they would get married at the groom's house after a while. Qi Wan had been so angry these days. Originally, she just wanted to go home to see her mother and then meet Qin Haodong after a few days. But she did not expect that Master Yuan Tianren would suddenly appear and say that she was a rare blessing for her husband. Then she got married to Zhao Hongkuan out of thin air. She originally wanted to escape secretly, but her cultivation was sealed by Qi Yulong, who had been on guard. Now she was no different from an ordinary person. She was watched by the 2 bodyguards at the door, and there was no chance for her to escape. She wanted to contact Qin Haodong, but there was no reliable person around her. There was no phone number, and no message could be sent out. She was very upset, but the Qi family was full of joy. Zhao Hongkuan was the leader of the 3rd generation of the Zhao family and the most popular heir of the family. After the marriage between the Qi family and the Zhao family, the alliance between the 2 families would be unbreakable, which would be of great benefit to the development of the Qi family in the capital. The Zhao family was also very enthusiastic about this marriage. On the one hand, the relationship between the 2 families would be more stable after the marriage. On the other hand, Qi Wan, was not only beautiful, but also a rare blessing for her husband, as Master Yuan had said. After marrying such a daughter-in-law, the Zhao family would definitely prosper, and it was even possible for them to become the leader of the 7 great families. Under the high attention of the 2 families, although it was only an engagement banquet today, it was very lively. Guests and friends were invited, and all the famous families in the capital received the wedding invitation. Qi Yulong stood in front of the gate of the Qi family in a neat suit, welcoming the guests with a happy face. The old master, Qi Guofan, was sitting in the lobby in a festive Tang suit. Although the other families were not happy about the marriage between the Qi family and the Zhao family, they had to show their respect. Therefore, the leaders of the other 5 families were all present. In addition, influenced by the recent news that Qin Zongheng had become a saint, Chu Xuanyue's status had risen. This time, she was specially invited, and her status was the same as that of the masters of the other aristocratic families. After receiving the wedding invitation, she didn't want to come because she didn't want to face Chu Shanhe, the head of the Chu family. Later, under the persuasion of Yi Qing, in order to establish a good network for her son when he returned to the capital in the future, she finally came. However, after arriving at the Qi family, she still avoided Chu Shanhe and sat on the other side. Chu Shanhe also saw his daughter and sighed with a complicated expression. In the end, he didn't speak. In the dressing room, Shi Zhishuan said to Qi Weiner, "Girl, hurry up and do your makeup. It's almost time." Today, Qi Weiner wore a colorful cheongsam, but her expression was very cold. She just sat quietly in the chair without saying a word. "Mom, I've already told you and Dad that I already have a boyfriend. Why should I get engaged? Is it because of that old Taoist's nonsense?" Shi Zhishuan sighed and said, "Girl, if you want to blame someone, blame your mother. I shouldn't have taken you to have your fortune read. But now that things have come to this, we can only accept our fate. The marriage of a girl from a big family is never decided by herself." Qi Weiner said angrily, "I don't believe in fate. If I did, I would have died a long time ago. My life was saved by Haodong. If I want to marry, I will only marry him. I won't marry anyone else." Shi Zhishuan said, "Daughter, I know you are suffering, but this matter was decided by your grandfather. We can't change it. And I think Zhao Hongkuan is a good boy. You won't feel wronged marrying him. No, the family is the family and I am me. I decide my own marriage. Since the whole Chi family is forcing me, then don't blame me for being ruthless. A trace of determination flashed across Chi Weiner's face. She said to the makeup artist next to her, "Come on, do my makeup." Shi Zhishuan said worriedly, "Child, don't do anything stupid." Chi Weiner said, "Mom, I will decide this matter myself. You don't have to worry about it." At this moment, the banquet hall of the Chi family was full of guests. As the leading actor today, Zhao Hongquan was wearing a black suit. His tall and straight figure showed strong confidence. As the core figure of the third generation of the Zhao family, he could be said to be the chosen one. Moreover, he had performed extremely well since he was a child. He had reached the 5th level of the Supreme Power Realm before he was 30 years old. This kind of achievement was enough for him to look down on his peers from other aristocratic families. He was the leading figure of the younger generation in the capital. In the Zhao family, Zhao Hongquan was also highly valued by the family master, Old Master Zhao. He had obtained a certain degree of decision-making power in family affairs. He had the right to make decisions unless it was related to the life and death of the family. As an outstanding man, the matchmakers who had come to the Zhao family to propose marriage over the years had almost broken the threshold. There were also countless ladies who had thrown olive branches to him. However, Zhao Hongquan refused all of them. At most, he was just playing around. He thought that those women were not worthy of him until Chi Weiner appeared. In his opinion, with his ability and talent, he was simply a match made in heaven with Chi Weiner, who had a rare life of bringing good fortune to her husband. He had already surpassed the younger generation in the capital. If he got Chi Weiner's help, his future achievements would be limitless. Originally, he had proposed to the Chi family because of Yuan Tianren's words, but when he saw Chi Weiner's peerless appearance, he was immediately shocked. After the two families set the marriage contract, he could wake up with a smile even in his dreams. If a man wanted to succeed, the woman behind him was absolutely extremely important. Because of this, the words, "bringing good fortune to her husband," were full of endless temptation for everyone. There were countless people who came to the Chi family to propose marriage, but only Zhao Hongquan had the last laugh. Just as he was getting more and more proud, an old Taoist came in from outside. It was Yuan Tianren, the most famous Xianshu master in the capital. Yuan Tianren was about 60 or 70 years old. He had long hair and a white beard. He was wearing a cyan Taoist robe and holding a horsetail whisk in his hand. He looked like an immortal. Yuan Tianren was extremely popular in the capital. Wherever he went, he would be surrounded by people and countless people stood up to say hello to him. After seeing him, Zhao Hongquan immediately went up to him and said, "Master Yuan, you're here. I want to thank you for your guidance." Yuan Tianren reached out to fix his beard and said in a dignified manner, "I don't dare to be greedy. It's also your luck to be able to bring good fortune to your husband, which is rare in 1,000 years." Zhao Hongquan said respectfully, "In the end, I still have to thank you for your guidance. I will never forget your great kindness. When you have time, I will thank you alone. Please do me the honor. You are worth teaching. Your future is boundless." Yuan Tianren nodded his head in satisfaction and walked inside after saying those words. Zhao Hongquan turned around and saw Chi Weiner, who had finished putting on makeup, walking into the hall leisurely. She was wearing a bright red cheongsam, which vividly showed off her beautiful figure. Her long hair was tied up high, revealing her white neck and shoulders. She was like a peacock spreading its tail, and the dazzling light illuminated the whole hall. Ever since he saw Chi Weiner once, Zhao Hongquan was amazed every time he saw her. He smiled slightly, cheered up and walked toward his future wife. "Weiner, you are so beautiful today." Zhao Hongquan walked to Chi Weiner and reached out to hold her hand. After today's engagement, they would become husband and wife. In the eyes of such an aristocratic family, the engagement ceremony was much more effective than the marriage certificate. As long as today's ceremony was completed, Chi Weiner would be Zhao Hongquan's wife. But Chi Weiner obviously didn't think so. She took a step back slightly and Zhao Hongquan failed to grab her hand. She said coldly, "Don't touch me." Zhao Hongquan smiled and said, "Weiner, we are going to be a family soon. Why are you so shy?" Chi Wan said, "Zhao Hongquan, let me tell you, I'm not willing to attend this engagement ceremony today. I have someone I like. Even if you can get my body, you can't get my heart." After a pause, she said to Zhao Hongquan, who was stunned, "Besides, you may not be able to get my body." Zhao Hongquan didn't care about Chi Weiner's refusal. He smiled and said, "Weiner, I know you have feelings for me now, and I understand it very well. But I believe that as long as we become husband and wife, I will definitely show you my excellence and make you fall in love with me." Chi Weiner shook her head and said mercilessly, "It's useless. No matter how hard you try, you can't compare with him." Zhao Hongquan said proudly, "Weiner, although I don't know who that guy is, he only met you a few days earlier than me. In terms of excellence and talent, I don't think he can compare with me in any case." Chi Weiner smiled coldly and said, "You think too much. He is 10,000 times better than you in every aspect." Zhao Hongquan smiled indifferently. He didn't take Chi Weiner's words seriously at all. In his heart, he was the direct descendant of the Zhao family in the capital. How could there be a young man who was better than him? "Weiner, today is our big day. I don't want to argue with you. Please believe me, I will definitely move your heart in the future." "That's impossible. I only have him in my heart." Chi Weiner turned around and seemed to want to leave. Suddenly, she thought of something and turned around and said, "By the way, I forgot to tell you one thing. I'm already his woman now." Zhao Hongquan didn't care about what she had said before, but this sentence suddenly hit his sore spot. For an extremely proud man, it was undoubtedly a great insult for his fiancée to suddenly say that she had slept with another man. He clenched his fists and the blue veins on his forehead bulged. Chi Weiner saw his expression and a smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. He wanted to take her as his wife, so she would make him unhappy. Chapter 667. He was on the verge of exploding, but this state only lasted for a few seconds. Zhao Hongquan's fists slowly loosened and his cold expression eased. He said with a smile, I'm sincere to you. Why do you have to do this? Don't make such a joke with me again, okay? Are you joking?" Chi smiled and said, "Zhao Hongquan, we're not that close yet. I won't joke with you." Zhao Hongquan said, "No matter what you did in the past, I don't care. I only care about you." Chi smiled sarcastically and said, "What you care about is the so-called bringing good fortune to your husband, right? As long as I can help you achieve success, everything else is not important. You can even accept being cheated on, right?" Zhao Hongquan frowned and said, "You've gone too far. I know you can't accept me now, but I promise you will look at me differently in the future. You think too much. We don't have a future at all." After that, Chi walked straight to the relatives next to her. Looking at her graceful back, a cold light flashed in Zhao Hongquan's eyes. Although the conversation just now was very unpleasant and he could see that Chi was very repulsed by him, he could not give up. Soon, the engagement banquet officially began. In the banquet hall, a beautiful MC walked to the front stage. She was a famous host of a Huaxia TV station. Today, she was invited to preside over the wedding of Chi and Zhao Hongquan, which showed how much importance the Chi family attached to this engagement. The MC said with a smile, "Ladies and gentlemen, although today is not a formal wedding ceremony, it is also a very grand engagement banquet. Miss Chi and Mr. Zhao Hongquan will complete the lifelong contract under the witness of all the guests. Let's welcome this happy moment with warm applause." There was a thunderous applause below the stage, and even the masters of the 7 great families clapped unhurriedly. Qi Yulong stood next to them. He was very satisfied with all this. Among the second generation of the Qi family, he was the most outstanding one. Now that his daughter had completed the marriage with the Zhao family, he would definitely be the master of the family in the future. Qi Wan, and Zhao Hongquan went to the stage. Zhao Hongquan was smiling, but Qi Wan, looked old-fashioned and there was no joy on her face. The MC walked up to them and didn't realize that there was anything different about today's ceremony. He raised the microphone in his hand and said, "The two newlyweds are about to get engaged. Before that, I have a few questions to ask the bridegroom and bridegroom." He said to Zhao Hongquan, "Let me ask the handsome Mr. Zhao, are you willing to marry Miss Wan, "I'm willing." Zhao Hongquan's voice was loud and powerful. "In the past, I didn't believe in love at first sight in this world, but the moment I saw Wan, I believed it. She's the woman I've been looking for my whole life." After he finished speaking, there was a thunderous applause backstage. However, some people secretly curled their lips. They knew very well that love at first sight was bullshit. It was all about bringing good luck to her husband. Zhao Cengqiong, the master of the Zhao family, was sitting next to Qi Guofan, Qi Weiner's grandfather. Seeing his grandson's performance, he could not help but say proudly, "Old Qi, what do you think? This grandson of mine is not bad, right?" Not bad at all. Otherwise, how could he be worthy of my granddaughter?" Qi Guofan laughed happily. He was extremely satisfied with this marriage. At this moment, the MC moved the microphone in front of Qi Weiner and said, "Beautiful Miss Wan, would you like to marry Mr. Zhao?" Qi Weiner did not answer directly. She glanced around and saw everyone's expectations and expressions. Then she said firmly, "I, Qi Weiner, don't want to marry him." Her words were like a thunderbolt that exploded in the entire banquet hall. Many people even suspected that there was something wrong with their ears. How could the bridegroom say that she didn't want to marry him at such a festive time? At this time, Qi Weiner smiled slightly, as if she was very satisfied with everyone's shocked expressions. She repeated and said, "You heard me right. I just said that I don't want to marry him." This time, there was an uproar and the crowd immediately became restless. Many people who failed to pursue Qi Weiner were secretly delighted. If I can't get her, Zhao Hongquan can't get her either. Now there was a good show to watch. Zhao Hongquan's face was pale, as if he had been struck by lightning. Although Qi Weiner had expressed her dissatisfaction just now, he thought that she was just playing a little temper with him. Children of big families like them all put the interests of their families first. He never expected that Qi Weiner would do what she said and completely disregard the face of the Qi family and the Zhao family. Didn't she know what kind of situation the two families would be in if she did so at this moment? Didn't she think about the serious consequences of doing so? If this marriage didn't work out, the Qi family and the Zhao family would become the laughing stock of the whole capital in the future. The beautiful lady held the microphone in her hand and was completely stunned at this moment. The words that she had prepared before could not be used at all. She had thought that this was a good job. She could simply organize the engagement ceremony and then get a big red packet from such a big family. But the reality was not as good as she had imagined. Although she had hosted many wedding ceremonies, it was the first time that she had encountered such a situation. For a moment, she was at a loss. Shi Zhishuan, who was under the stage, was stunned. Only then did she realize what her daughter's words meant. She had never expected that her daughter would take such an extreme approach and almost break up with the whole Qi family. Qi Yulong, who was standing next to her, was so angry with Qi Weiner that he didn't expect his daughter to be so ignorant. He hurried to the stage and said, "Weiner, have you recovered from your fever last night? If you are not feeling well, go to rest. Don't let it affect your mood." Then he took the microphone from the MC's hand and said to the audience, "I'm sorry, everyone. Weiner had a fever last night, and now she is not very conscious. Please forgive me." Qi Weiner grabbed the microphone from his hand and said, "I'm not sick, and I'm very sober. That's what I want to say. I don't want to." I just don't want to. Chi Yulong was completely dumbfounded. Although he knew that Chi Weiner was forced to attend this engagement party, this was very common among the aristocratic families. Before he put Chi Weiner under house arrest, he thought that as long as the rice was cooked, everything would be fine. After all the children of aristocratic families put family interests first, and personal love was nothing at all. If this marriage was successful, his status in the Chi family would rise, and he was likely to become the next family master. But he never expected that Chi Weiner was much more unyielding than he had imagined. She even said the word "don't want to" in public, which directly beat him from heaven to hell. Feeling the sarcastic and mocking eyes under the stage, Chi Yulong shouted angrily, "Chi Weiner, are you confused? Do you know what you are talking about?" "I'm not confused. I know what I am talking about, and I know what I want." Chi Weiner didn't intend to change her mind at all. She said with a firm look, "I don't want this marriage at all. It's completely forced. Now my acupoints are sealed. Do you think I am willing?" After she finished speaking, the banquet hall, which had just quieted down a little, was in an uproar again. No one had expected that the Chi family would seal their daughter's acupoints for this marriage. Originally, many people thought that this marriage was a good marriage in the circle of aristocratic families. One party had a rare blessing for the husband, and the other party was the leader of the younger generation in the capital. They didn't expect that the other party was not willing at all and was completely forced to do so. At this moment, the smile on the face of Zhao Tsangqiong, the master of the Zhao family, had long disappeared. He looked at Chi Weiner, who was determined on the stage, and then looked at Zhao Hongkuan, who was completely at a loss. Finally, he sighed softly. He had thought that this was a happy event for the Zhao family. His grandson and Chi Weiner were a match made in heaven. If he married a rare blessing for the husband, the Zhao family would be promoted to a higher level. But now it seemed that things were not as he had imagined. After all, Zhao Hongkuan was an outstanding figure of the younger generation. He slowly recovered from the shock and said to the guests below the stage, "Everyone, I'm sorry. I just quarreled with Weiner below the stage. What she said just now was just a petulant remark. Don't take it seriously." After that, he turned around and took Chi Weiner's hand. "Weiner, if you have anything to say, go home and tell me. Don't lose your temper here." Originally, he still had the last glimmer of hope that Chi Weiner could save some face for the two families. But to his disappointment, Chi Weiner slapped his hand away and said, "Zhao Hongkuan, are you still fantasizing? It's impossible for us to have a family." Well, fantasizing? Only then did Zhao Hongkuan realize that everything before seemed to be really an illusion. Although the woman in front of him was good, she did not belong to him at all. Seeing that his grandson was rejected again and again, Zhao Tsangqiong became more and more angry. If this went on, not only would the Qi family lose face, but the Zhao family would also lose face. This girl from the Qi family had gone too far. Had she not considered the face of the two great families? Had she not considered the consequences of such a scene? Thinking of this, he turned to look at Qi Guofan and said, "Old Qi, your granddaughter is too uneducated. She doesn't take our Zhao family seriously at all. Shouldn't the Qi family give us an explanation?" At this moment, the masters of the other great families were calm and looked at the development of the situation indifferently. Some even had a faint smile on their faces. After all, the onlookers were not afraid of making things worse. The bigger the matter was, the better it would be for them. Nonsense. Qi Guofan could not sit still and his face was livid. Originally, he thought that Qi Yulong could calm the situation down, but he did not expect that it would become more and more serious. The engagement party was ruined, which was a slap in the face to the Qi family. He slapped the table, stood up, pointed at Chi Weiner and shouted, "You must give me an explanation today." Chapter 668. You want an explanation, right? Then I'll give you one now. At this moment, Chi Weiner was fearless. She said to all the guests under the stage, I believe many people remember what I looked like a few months ago. At that time, I was like a ghost. I believe that no one would take the initiative to propose marriage to me, let alone say that I'm a rare blessing for my husband. Now my illness has been cured by my man. I look beautiful and I'm *king blessing for my husband. My family wants to use me for a marriage alliance and my marriage in exchange for benefits for the family. What I want to say is, what does the interests of the family have to do with a woman? Does it mean that the prosperity of the family is exchanged for the happiness of a woman? After these words, the whole audience was shocked. In order to defend her happiness, Chi Weiner said all the words in her heart and no longer cared about the face of her family. Bastard, bastard, Chi Guofan was trembling with anger. At this time, the old Taoist Yuan Tianren stood up and waved the horsetail whisk in his hand, looking like a master. Miss Weiner, let me tell you, everything is predestined. Your destiny is that if you survive a disaster, you will have good fortune later on. Why do you insist on other illusions? I think that you are a rare blessing for your husband. I can't be wrong about this. You should accept your fate. Chi Weiner turned her head and her eyes were full of disgust for the so-called Master Yuan. If he hadn't given her a destiny that would bring good fortune for her husband, she would not have encountered such a big trouble. The current situation was all caused by this old Taoist. She said coldly, even if you are right and I am a blessing for my husband, haven't you shown me that other people can afford it? After hearing her words, Zhao Tsangqiong was suddenly unhappy. My grandson is the direct descendant of the Zhao family. He is the best among the young people in the capital. Is he not worthy of you? Is the man you are talking about stronger than my grandson? Chi Weiner glanced at him and did not flinch at all because he was the master of the Zhao family. You are right. My man is stronger than your grandson, and he is 10,000 times stronger. The whole banquet hall was in an uproar. Compared with the broken engagement just now, these words were more like a slap in the face. Zhao Hongquan said angrily, since you said so much about him, why doesn't he dare to show up today? If he's so much stronger than me, why didn't he come to snatch the wedding and take you away? Chi Weiner said decisively, if he receives the news, he will definitely come. Seeing that his granddaughter was getting more and more outrageous and had no intention of redeeming her, Chi Guofan said angrily, today, you have to get married, even if you don't want to. As long as you are alive, you will be the granddaughter-in-law of the Zhao family. What if I refuse to marry? Thinking of the man in her heart, Chi Weiner seemed to be filled with endless courage. In order to pursue her own happiness, in order to be with the person she loved, even in the face of everyone's pressure, she still did not compromise or give in. She still did not care that her words were already threatening Chi Guofan. After being contradicted by his granddaughter in public one after another, Chi Guofan was on the verge of breaking out. He said angrily with a livid face, Chi Wan, as long as you are a member of our Chi family, you have to listen to the arrangement of our Chi family. Today, you have to marry, even if you don't want to. Otherwise, get out of the Chi family. From now on, our Chi family doesn't have a granddaughter like you. If she refused to marry, she would get out of the Chi family. Chi Weiner was silent and bit her lip. Although she was stubborn, her eyes were still full of tears. She was not reconciled. When she had coronary heart disease before, except for her parents, no one else in the family cared about her. They even hid from her like a plague. Even the grandfather in front of her cared less about her, as if she did not exist. Now she had been cured by Qin Haodong. She was beautiful and had many pursuers. She had been given the title of bringing good fortune to her husband by the family. Why did they do all this? How could she be reconciled to it? The entire banquet hall fell into silence. Everyone could feel the oppressive atmosphere. At this moment, a faint voice rang out. Why bother? A melon that is forcibly picked is not sweet. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice. It was Chu Xianyue, the head of Haodong Group. If Yi Qing had come with Chu Xianyue, she would have immediately recognized Chi Weiner as one of Qin Haodong's girlfriends. Unfortunately, she did not come, and the two of them did not know each other. The reason why Chu Xianyue sighed was because of her own situation. Today's Qi Weiner was very similar to her 20 years ago. The only difference was that neither she nor Qin Zongheng had the courage of Qi Weiner. Although they were unwilling, they did not stand up to fight against the family publicly. They did not fight for their own happiness, so that tragedies happened one after another. She looked at the strange eyes around her, and then glanced at Chu Shanhe and Qin Zhan Ao sitting next to her. Why are you all looking at me like this? I'm just telling the truth. There was no shortage of truth in this world, but some truths could not be said. After saying it, it would cause endless trouble, but Chu Xianyue just said it. Both Chu Shanhe and Qin Zhan Ao knew that she was referring to something, but they pretended not to hear it, and their expressions did not change at all. They could pretend to be deaf and dumb, but the people of the Qi family could not. However, recently it was rumored that Qin Zongheng had become a saint, and with that, Chu Xuanyue's identity and status had risen. Qi Yulong was standing next to her. Although he was dissatisfied, he did not dare to express it too directly. President Chu, you don't know. Before he finished speaking, Chu Xianyue waved her hand and interrupted him. I really don't know much about this matter, and I don't want to know. I only know that if a woman is forced to marry a man she doesn't like, it will definitely be a lifetime of bad luck. I just feel that Waynard is very pitiful, so I said it out loud. Speaking of this, there was an unconcealable bitterness on her face. Only she knew how much she had suffered for so many years. Qi Weiner was very surprised. She did not expect that there would be someone who would speak up for her. Although she had lived in the capital for so many years, she had been busy with treatment and seldom went out. She did not know Chu Xianyue, nor did she know that she was the mother of her lover and her future mother-in-law. The Zhao family was the most dissatisfied with Chu Xuanyue's words. Zhao Zhangxiong's face was so gloomy. Why is she pitiful? Why is it a pity? Is my grandson not worthy of the woman of the Qi family? President Chu, in terms of seniority, you are my junior. I won't argue with you on normal days, but today is my grandson's engagement banquet. I have to argue with you. Because Chu Xianyue had left the Chu family, the heads of the major families had thought hard about how to address her. It was not appropriate to call her by her name, nor was it appropriate to call her Miss Chu, so they finally chose to call her President Chu. What can I do for you, Mr. Zhao? Chu Xianyue was still calm, as if she did not see the anger on Zhao Zhangxiong's face. Zhao Zhangxiong suppressed the anger in his heart and said with a sullen face, Did you just say that the girl of the Qi family is pitiful? Of course, Chu Xianyue would not deny what she had just said. She said leisurely, Yes, I said that. Zhao Zhangxiong said, Then let me ask you, how is my grandson? Not bad. He is considered an outstanding talent among the third generation of the aristocratic families in the capital. In that case, why did you say that it would be a pity for the girl of the Qi family to marry my grandson? Is my grandson so bad? With Zhao Zhangxiong's question, everyone's eyes were focused on Chu Xuanyue's face. Old Master Zhao, I'm not saying that Zhao Hongkuan isn't good, said Qin Haodong. Chu Xianyue said, I'm speaking from a woman's point of view. For a woman, the most important thing in her life is love, but now even the most important thing has to be dominated by others. Isn't it pitiful? Love has nothing to do with whether a person is good or not. As the saying goes, everyone has their own love. No matter how good your grandson is, he is not someone she likes. Why do you have to force him? Her words were reasonable and many women present agreed with her. If it were not for the dignity of the Zhao family and the Qi family, someone would have applauded immediately. President Chu, it's not right for you to say that. This time it was Qi Guofan who spoke. Young people are always impulsive and easily get carried away by their emotions and make the wrong choice. As parents, we can help them avoid this. 1. Refuses Zhao Hongkuan now. Maybe after 10 or 20 years, she will find that Hongkuan is the best choice. Chu Xianyue said lightly, Old Master Qi, you also said that it's just a possibility. What if after 10 or 20 years, she still insists on her current idea? For example, I don't regret what I thought back then. I always think that my choice is right. After she finished speaking, everyone looked at Chu Shanhe in unison. However, Chu Shanhe was indeed an experienced old fox. He did not care at all and still slowly tasted the tea in front of him, as if nothing had happened. Today was the engagement banquet between the Zhao family and the Qi family. He would not get involved in this mess. Qi Guofan snorted and said, even if what you said makes sense, as a child of an aristocratic family, she has to make contributions to the family, including her marriage. What else did Chu Xianyue want to say? At this time, Qi Wan said, Aunt Chu, thank you for your help. Don't thank me. I didn't help you much. You still have to put your own happiness in your own hands, or you will regret it in the future. After saying that, Chu Xianyue stopped talking. She picked up the teacup in front of her and slowly tasted it. Zhao Zhangxiong said, Wan, now it's time for you to make a statement. At this point, our Zhao family will not bear the name of forcing you. You have to give us a way out. A way out? The people around sneered. How could the Zhao family have a way out after being rejected in front of their faces? Chapter 669. Qi Weiner said, Old Master Zhao, I think Auntie Chu is right. I just want to pursue my own happiness. Zhao Hongquan is really good, but he is not my type. Seeing that his granddaughter refused his arranged marriage again and again, Qi Guofan could no longer control his anger. He did not dare to lose his temper with Chu Xianyue, but he had no scruples about Qi Weiner. He slammed the table and shouted, If you dare to refuse this marriage today, you will not be a member of our Qi family in the future. After all, Qi Weiner was a girl. At this time, she could no longer hold back the tears in her eyes and they flowed down. Grandpa, why do you force me like this? I just don't want to marry Zhao Hongquan. What's wrong with that? I told you long ago that I already have my own man. You insisted on breaking us up. Are you blaming me for this? There was an uproar. Qi Weiner's words stimulated many people's nerves. It turned out that the young lady of the Qi family already had a man. Pay attention, she just said a man, not a boyfriend. The meaning behind it was indescribable. Zhao Zhangxiong's face became more and more ugly. He turned to look at Qi Guofan and almost shouted, Old Qi, you must give our Zhao family an explanation today. These aristocratic families valued their reputation more than their lives, but today, the Zhao family had been slapped in the face again and again. Qi Guofan was so angry that he slammed the table and said, I'm so angry. Qi Weiner, are you shameless? At this time, Zhao Hongquan stood up and said, Old masters, calm down. Let me solve this matter myself. Qi Guofan and Zhao Zhangxiong both widened their eyes. Obviously, they were full of anger, but they could do nothing about it. Even if they really drove Qi Weiner out of the Qi family, they would be completely humiliated today. They were afraid that they would not be able to raise their heads in front of other aristocratic families in the future. At this time, seeing that Zhao Hongquan took the initiative to bear this matter, the two of them did not say anything and acquiesced. Zhao Hongquan turned around and said to Qi Wan, my sincerity to you can be seen by the heavens. On the contrary, the person you mentioned hasn't even shown up yet. How cowardly is he? Is this kind of person really worth your sacrifice? After he finished speaking, everyone present immediately agreed. Yes, if Qi Weiner really had a man and that man was really better than Zhao Hongquan, why didn't he appear? Why didn't they come to kidnap the bride? Could it be that they were afraid of the power of the Zhao clan and the Qi clan? If that was the case, such a spineless man was not worth Qi Wan doing so much for him. Qi Wan didn't speak, but the handsome figure gradually emerged in her mind. Will he come? I really can't hold on anymore. I really want to find an arm to lean on. Qi Wan secretly said in her heart. Zhao Hongquan smiled proudly. If he could conquer Qi Wan, at this moment with his intelligence and wisdom, not only would he minimize the impact of today's engagement party, but he would also leave a good impression on his grandfather as the master of the family. He continued, Wan, or rather, there's no such person. It's all a lie you made up to deceive everyone, just so you don't want to be engaged to me. After saying this, even he himself believed this conjecture. Qi Wan, bit her lips, I didn't lie to you. Zhao Hongquan sneered and said, in that case, do you dare to say that person's name? Let everyone know who this person is. Of course I dare. Qi Wan said word by word under everyone's gaze, his name is Qin Haodong. After he said this, the others were still calm, but Chu Xianyue spat out the tea in her mouth. What was going on? Wan liked her son. Could she be her daughter-in-law? However, almost no one had heard of this name except for her. From other people's reactions, Zhao Hongquan could feel that this person was a nobody. He said proudly, Wan, as you can see, no one knows his name. How can such a person be compared to me? Qi Wan said, indeed, you can't compare with him. There's a huge difference between you two. Nonsense. Zhao Cangqiong said angrily, even if you search the whole capital and the whole Huaxia, no one can be better than my grandson. Zhao Hongquan was ignored by Qi Wan, again and again. He finally lost his patience and shouted angrily, Qi Wan, you've been praising that man from the beginning to the end. If you have the ability, call him out. I'll break his legs today. Really? You have to have the ability to do that. As soon as Zhao Hongquan finished speaking, a cold voice came from a distance. The voice did not seem to be loud, but everyone could hear it clearly. It's him. This is Haodong's voice. Is he really here? Is he really going to steal the bride? Qi Wan, was so excited that her whole body trembled. In addition to her, another excited woman was Chu Xianyue. She also recognized that it was her son's voice. But then she suddenly became nervous. This was not any other place. This was the Qi family, one of the 7 great families in the capital. Her son was far from being able to compete with them now. Although she was excited and worried, she still tried her best to restrain her emotions. She knew that Chu Shanhe was watching coldly from the side. If she gave herself away, it would attract another strong enemy for her son. Fortunately, no one paid attention to Chu Xianyue. Everyone looked at the source of the voice. Outside the hall, they saw a group of men in black rushing into the Qi family. There were more than 100 of them. These people were majestic and their movements were neat and uniform. They were wearing a set of black uniforms with the words Nanny written on their chests. Although their clothes were strange, these people had the murderous aura of experienced soldiers and the pressure of powerful warriors. They were unstoppable all the way. Originally, the Qi family had arranged a large number of guards for today's engagement ceremony. After all, as the leading aristocratic family in the capital, safety had always been the first priority. Today's guards were personally led by Qi Yulong's younger brother, Qi Yuhu. They were all elites of the Qi family. The lowest cultivation was a master at the level of covert power. However, he did not expect that his elite guards were not even worth mentioning in front of these black-clothed men. They did not have the ability to resist the attacks of the black-clothed men at all. They were completely unable to withstand a single blow from the black-clothed men. This shocked everyone, including the masters of the 7 great families who were sitting in the main seats. What kind of combat power was this? They had at least reached the level of a supreme power master. If there were only 1 or 2 supreme power masters, they would not take them seriously at all. But there were at least 100 people in front of them, and each of them had the cultivation of a supreme power master. How terrifying would it be when 100 supreme power masters gathered together? In the capital, apart from the 7 great families, who else had such a powerful force? To be exact, even one of the 7 great families could not come up with such a strong force. The most eye-catching people were the young people walking in front. They were led by 2 handsome young men. Although they were dressed in ordinary clothes, they were very handsome. Behind them were 4 beautiful women. They had white skin, long legs, angelic looks and devilish figures. It was not an exaggeration to use all kinds of words to praise women. If it weren't for the strange atmosphere now, people would really think that this was an international model show, or that the champion of Miss World was on tour. These people were naturally Qin Haodong and his group of men. After carefully planning this bride kidnapping operation, their aura was extremely strong. Ma Wenjue walked in the front. After a few days of special training, his cultivation had reached the 7th level of the supreme power realm. In his opinion, in this case, he could not let his boss fight, otherwise it would seem that he was not strong enough. Therefore, along the way, he killed anyone who stood in his way with a few punches and kicks. Qi Weiner stood on the stage and looked at the man who had been dreaming of day and night. She could not help but burst into tears and was so excited that she could not speak. After the initial shock, Zhao Hongquan was delighted. Since this man was here, he had a chance to perform. He wanted to show Qin Weiner who was the better man. He saw that the man in front of the line was only about 20 years old. Although he looked majestic, he was confident that no peer under the age of 30 would be stronger than him. After all, he had reached the 5th level of the supreme power realm. Boy, I'll show you whether I have the ability or not. After that, he stopped his feet and flew down from the stage like a beautiful eagle spreading its wings. Then, he kicked Ma Wenjue with a sharp whirlwind kick. Unconsciously, he made a mistake. He thought that the man who walked in front of the line and was highly skilled must be Qin Haodong, whom Qi Weiner had mentioned. Although he had just arrived at the scene, Ma Wenjue had already figured out the situation clearly. Seeing that the boy in front of him dared to compete with his boss for a woman, he naturally would not be polite at all. He suddenly raised his right leg and kicked out in a domineering manner. The attack of the 7th level of the supreme power realm was naturally extraordinary. This kick made a sharp whistling sound in the air, and the huge pressure made it hard for the people around to breathe. The same way and the same leg technique, but with different strength. When Ma Wenjue kicked out, everyone present changed their expressions. No one had expected that this young man in his 20s would have such a profound cultivation. No wonder Qi Weiner fell in love with him so much. Subconsciously, they also regarded Ma Wenjue as Qin Haodong, because they could not imagine that there could be a better young man than him. Zhao Zhengxiong's expression suddenly changed. He was also at the 7th level of the supreme power realm, so he could naturally see the power of Ma Wenjue's kick. He knew that his grandson was definitely no match for him, so he quickly jumped up and shouted, "Stop! Stop now!" But it was too late. Zhao Hongquan couldn't retreat even if he wanted to. Ma Wenjue, who was determined to vent his anger for his boss, would certainly not give him any face. He kicked him mercilessly. When the two legs met, the huge wave of air lifted all the surrounding tables. Then, with a crisp sound, Zhao Hongquan screamed. His right leg, which he had kicked out, had turned into a V shape and was forcibly kicked into 2 parts. Chapter 670. Zhao Hongquan was kicked into the air and flew backward, but Ma Wenjue did not want to let him go so easily. He moved like a shadow and came to Zhao Hongquan's side, kicking him again. Crack! There was another ear-piercing sound of bones cracking. Zhao Hongquan's left leg was completely broken and he flew out like a broken sack. He knocked over several tables with a plop and fell to the ground in a mess. Zhao Zhengxiong flashed to Zhao Hongquan and picked him up from the ground. After checking his injuries, he glared at Ma Wenjue and shouted, "Qin Haodong, you're so ruthless at such a young age. How dare you do this to my grandson?" Ma Wenjue clapped his hands and said happily, "Old man, you're wrong. My surname is not Qin. Qin Haodong is my eldest brother and I'm brother Ma. Your grandson dared to steal my eldest brother's woman and just said that he would break my eldest brother's legs. It's already very kind of me not to kill him." After he said that, all the guests present changed their expressions, especially the leaders of the aristocratic families. Ma Wenjua's performance just now had already shocked them. He had reached the 7th level of the Supreme Power Realm at such a young age. This kind of achievement was much higher than Zhao Hongquan's. Even among the young talents in the capital, he was definitely second to none. If he was a disciple of any aristocratic family, he would definitely be the core of the whole family. He would undoubtedly be the successor of the family master. But such an outstanding person was just Qin Haodong's younger brother. How outstanding was Qin Haodong? Could it be that he had also reached the 7th level of the Supreme Power Realm or even higher? Zhao Tsangqiong had no time to think so much at this time. His grandson had just been rejected in public, and now his 2 legs had been broken in front of everyone. This made him both heartbroken and ashamed. Today, the Zhao family had completely lost face. He was so angry that his eyes were bloodshot and his beard was twitching. He shouted at Ma Wenjua, "I don't care who you are. If you dare to hurt our Zhao family, you will die." After that, he raised his hand and called over a middle-aged man in his 50s next to him. This man was Zhao Canghai, the 3rd elder of the Zhao family. His cultivation was second only to the 2 elders at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. He had already reached the 8th level of the Supreme Power Realm. "Canghai, cripple this kid for me. Break all his limbs and break the tendons of his hands and feet." Zhao Tsangqiong gnashed his teeth and said. If the Zhao family didn't get back at them today, they would become the laughingstock of the other aristocratic families and wouldn't be able to gain a foothold in the capital. "Patriarch, don't worry. I'll definitely make this brat beg for death." Zhao Canghai walked toward Ma Wenjua with a sinister expression. Ma Wenjua was about to rush over to fight, but Qin Haodong pulled him behind him. "This old guy is very powerful. You're not his match for the time being." Seeing that Qin Haodong stopped Ma Wenjua, everyone present was curious. Ma Wenjua's performance just now had already stunned the audience, but now he was pulled back. Could it be that this young man was even more powerful? Just when everyone was expecting Qin Haodong to take action in person, they saw him turn around and say to a beautiful woman behind him, "Wuxia, I'll leave this guy to you." Nalan Wuxia was now at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, but she had never fought with a master above the Supreme Power Realm. Today was a good opportunity to gain experience. After that, Qin Haodong ignored them. He stepped onto the stage, reached out to hold Qi Wan-er's hand and said softly, "I'm sorry to have made you suffer." Qi Wan-er threw herself into his arms and choked with sobs. "I thought you wouldn't come. How is that possible? You're my woman. No one can take you away from me, not even the emperor." Speaking of this, Qin Haodong suddenly frowned. Suddenly, he frowned. "Your acupoints have been sealed?" "Yes." Qi Wan nodded. "It doesn't matter. I'll help you unseal it." After that, he sent a stream of green with genuine qi to her and instantly opened her sealed acupoints. Not far from Qi Guofan, a white-haired old man suddenly opened his eyes. He was Qi Guiyin, the 1st elder of the Qi family, a master at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. In order to be safe, Qi Yulong asked him to seal Qi Wan-er's acupoints. The technique used by Qi Guiyin was extremely special. Even if the other party was a master of acupoint unsealing, it would take him a while to unseal it. However, the young man in front of him easily unsealed his sealed acupoints as if it was as easy as eating and drinking. How could he not be shocked? Qin Haodong didn't care so much. After unsealing her acupoints, he directly took Qi Wan back to his team. Qi Yulong was originally next to them. He originally wanted to stop them, but when he saw Zhao Hongquan rolling and wailing on the ground, he finally held back. His cultivation had just reached the 4th level of the Supreme Power Realm, which was lower than Zhao Hongquan's. It was useless for him to go over. On the other side, Nalan Wuxia and Zhao Canghai had already begun to fight. Zhao Canghai was trying his best to win back the face of the Zhao family. He didn't care about the beauty at all because she was a beauty. As soon as he attacked, he used his unique skill, Tiger Claw, and grabbed Nalan Wuxia's face fiercely. Many people present were familiar with Zhao Cunghai. The third elder of the Zhao family was almost invincible under the 9th level. Seeing him attack Nalan Wuxia, many people couldn't help but feel sorry for the beauty in front of them. At the same time, they also hated Qin Haodong's shameless behavior. It was really shameless for a man to hide behind and let a woman come out to be cannon fodder. But just when many people felt sorry for Nalan Wuxia, they saw her make a move. She also stretched out her claw. Her claw looked light and gentle, far less powerful than Zhao Cunghai's tiger claw. Her jade-white palm was wrapped in layers of black qi. The two palms met. The black qi outside Nalan Wuxia's palm looked illusory, but it was full of power. It turned all the force of Zhao Cunghai's tiger claw invisible. Zhao Cunghai was shocked. He had never seen this kind of cultivation method. He desperately ran his genuine qi to raise his cultivation to the extreme, but no matter how hard he tried, Nalan Wuxia seemed to feel nothing. The dense black gas was like an invisible hand, tightly wrapping around his tiger claws, as if he was stuck in a quagmire and unable to extricate himself. At the same time, Nalan Wuxia's left hand slapped out. It was also a palm surrounded by black qi. This palm was extremely fast and hit Zhao Cunghai's chest in the blink of an eye. In the eyes of others, this palm did not have much strength, but the black gas broke through Zhao Cunghai's protective genuine qi in an instant. Then they saw Zhao Cunghai let out a muffled groan, and his whole body flew backward like a kite with a broken string. He spat out a mouthful of blood in midair. Heavenly Devil Hand. Nalan Wuxia had obtained the cultivation method inheritance from the Devil Seed. It was the famous unique skill of the previous generation's leader of the Devil Gate. Today, she had tried it on a small scale and it was indeed powerful. One move made Zhao Cunghai vomit blood. A 9th level Supreme Power Master? The onlookers were all shocked. Only a 9th level Supreme Power Master could defeat Zhao Cunghai in one move. In the entire capital and even in Huaxia, only Yan Feifei of the Yan family had reached the 9th level. They did not expect that a beautiful master would appear out of nowhere today. It seemed that the young man did not let this beauty come out to be cannon fodder, but he knew that Zhao Cunghai was no match for her. Qin Haodong was also slightly stunned. He had thought that Nalan Wuxia would have to fight for a period of time. He did not expect that the cultivation method of the Heavenly Devil sect was so powerful. It seemed that Nalan Wuxia's cultivation was not inferior to that of other women. There were hundreds of Supreme Power Masters, and now there was a 9th level Supreme Power Master. This kind of strength could almost rival the top aristocratic families in the capital, so the people present had to pay attention to it. Qi Guofan's face was gloomy. He looked at Qin Haodong and asked, "Boy, who are you? What are you doing in our house?" Qin Haodong said with a smile, just said that I'm her man. Of course, I'm here to kidnap the bride." There was an uproar in the auditorium and the guests began to talk about it. So he is Qin Haodong. No wonder Qi Wan, doesn't like Zhao Hongkuan. It seems that he is much more outstanding than Zhao Hongkuan. This handsome guy is so handsome and he has so many masters under his command. It would be great if he could like me. This guy hasn't made a move yet. I wonder what his cultivation is like. The cultivation of his subordinates is so high. I guess he must be a super master. Otherwise, how would he dare to kidnap the bride? It seems that the Qi family and the Zhao family are going to lose face this time. Hearing the discussion around him, Zhao Zhangqiong's face turned livid and he shouted, "Qin Haodong, don't think that you can fight against our Zhao family with a few masters on the internet. You are far inferior." In order to boost his grandson's momentum at today's engagement party, he brought all the elders of the Zhao family, including 2 9th level Supreme Power Masters. He turned around and said to an old man in a cyan robe, "First elder, teach this guy a lesson. Kill him." Zhao Zhangqiong was really angry. If their daughter-in-law was taken away in public, how could the Zhao family have a foothold in the capital in the future? "Yes, master." The old man in the cyan robe did not say much. He just agreed softly and then stepped to the front stage. Look, the first elder of the Zhao family is going to take action. There's going to be a good show. The first elder, Zhao Zhangxing, is a 9th level supreme power master. His thunder palm is the best in the world. It seems that this young man is going to be in trouble. The Zhao family is really powerful. It's impossible to kidnap the bride from the Zhao family. The old man in the cyan robe was Zhao Zhangxing, the first elder of the Zhao family. He stepped in front of Qin Haodong and said coldly, "Boy, hand her over and then kneel on the ground to apologize to the Zhao family. I'll let you die with a whole body." Qin Haodong did not want to talk to such a self-righteous old man. He turned around and said, "Feng Wu, I'll leave this old man to you. But he's old. Be gentle. Don't kill him." His purpose today was to kidnap the bride and establish his prestige, but he did not want to kill them. After all, it was not easy to cultivate a 9th level supreme power master. These people would be the power to fight against the alien demons in the future. Feng Wu agreed and walked to Zhao Zhangxing. The onlookers could not calm down again. It was another beauty. Was this beauty also a 9th level supreme power master? Otherwise, how could she fight against Zhao Zhangxing? Chapter 671. Feng Wu had the highest cultivation among all the women. Under the nourishment of the dual cultivation method these days, she had reached the peak of the 9th level of the supreme power realm. Her cultivation method was passed down from the Zihang Sword House, the holy land of martial arts. She glanced at Zhao Zhangxing coldly and said, "Make your move." With Nalan Wuxia as an example, Zhao Zhangxing did not dare to underestimate Feng Wu at all. Moreover, it was related to the reputation of the Zhao family, so he did not dare to be careless. "Little girl, be careful." After a soft shout, Zhao Zhangxing suddenly struck out with his palm. This palm strike was extremely powerful, capable of toppling mountains and overturning seas. There was a faint sound of rolling thunder. Rolling thunder palm. It turned out to be the rolling thunder palm. The first elder actually used his unique skill in the first round. This old man is too ruthless. "My goddess, if you can't beat him, run away." In the face of Feng Wu, Zhao Zhangxing did not hold back at all. Not only did he use the rolling thunder palm, but he also used 120% of his power. In his opinion, even the 9th level supreme power masters who had been famous for many years would temporarily avoid his palm, and the girl opposite him would be no exception. He even thought about the next move. But to everyone's surprise, Feng Wu did not dodge at all. She stretched out her slender hand, condensed 2 fingers into a sword, and kept stabbing at the rolling thunder palm. It was the unique skill of the Zihang Sword House, finger sword. Although it was a sword with fingers, under the drive of Feng Wu's pure internal force, the 2 fingers actually emitted fierce sword qi. The momentum was not inferior to the rolling thunder palm at all, and even more fierce. The fingers and the palm met. Under the full force of the 2 9th level supreme power masters, there was a loud bang. The power was amazing, and a huge wave of air swept to both sides. If it weren't for the fact that both of them were trying their best to suppress their cultivation, the roof of the banquet hall might have been blown off. Then, a scene that shocked everyone happened. After the 2 of them exchanged a blow, Feng Wu's body shook slightly and she took 2 or 3 steps back, while Zhao Zhangxing took 7 or 8 steps back before he managed to stabilize his body. It was obvious who was stronger after one move. The delicate woman in front of them was even more powerful than the first elder of the Zhao family. This was simply too terrifying. Zhao Zhangxiong and Qi Guofan's expressions changed at the same time. The other party's strength had exceeded their expectations. 9th level supreme power masters had always been as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. No matter where they went, they would be treated like ancestors. Why did they seem to be worthless today? Why did they come out one after another? Not only them, but the faces of the other 5 families also became serious. Although they were just watching the fun today, Qin Haodong's strength was too strong. There were 2 ninth-level Supreme Power Masters and 100 experts above the Supreme Power realm. In terms of force alone, it was equivalent to having another first-class family in the capital, which was even stronger than the 7 great families. Zhao Zangxing was both shocked and infuriated after being knocked back by Feng Wu's finger. However, he had no way out now. For the sake of the Zhao family's reputation, he had to fight to the death. So, he shouted and pounced at Feng Wu again. Of course, Feng Wu wouldn't back down. The two of them exchanged blows. "Brat, what kind of ability is it to always hide behind a woman? This old man will play a few moves with you." With a loud shout, a figure flew up into the air and punched Qin Haodong in the face. It was Zhao Zangtian, the second elder of the Zhao family, and another 9th-level Supreme Power Master. He had already realized that if they continued to fight, Zhao Zangxing would definitely be no match for Feng Wu. If he waited until Zhao Zangxing was defeated, it would be too late. So he took the opportunity to attack Qin Haodong. Tiger Taming Fist. Zhao Zangtian's famous unique skill was like a fierce tiger coming out of the cage. It was accompanied by a tiger's roar, as if it could swallow Qin Haodong at any time. Everyone could see that the Zhao family was really anxious. The 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters attacked together, which was all their trump cards. However, Qin Haodong's expression did not change in the face of such a punch. He was still holding Qi Wan-er's hand, as if he did not see Zhao Zangtian at all. At this moment, a graceful figure appeared in front of him, and then a crystal-clear fist punched out to meet Zhao Zangtian's tiger-taming fist. "Old man, if you want to play, I'll play with you." With a teasing shout, the two fists collided. One fist was big, and the other was small. One was as hard as a rock, and the other was as translucent as white jade. After the two fists collided, there was a muffled bang. Then Zhao Zangtian's figure was shaken and flew backward, and Hu Shaoxian also took 7 or 8 steps back. After one move, the two of them were evenly matched. The scene of the collision just now was not as fierce as that between Feng Wu and Zhao Zangxing, but everyone was shocked. She was another 9th-level Supreme Power Master, who was also a beautiful woman. In the blink of an eye, Qin Haodong had already shown 3 9th-level Supreme Power Masters, which made everyone look at him with admiration. This young man had brought a total of 4 beauties, and now 3 of them were 9th-level Supreme Power Masters. Could it be that the other one was also a 9th-level Supreme Power Master? If that was the case, it would be too terrible. There were only 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters in each of the 7 great families in the capital, and they all regarded them as treasures. It could be said that a 9th-level Supreme Power Master was the nuclear weapon that determined the strength of an aristocratic family. If an aristocratic family suddenly had one more 9th-level Supreme Power Master, its strength would definitely break through the encirclement and become the leader of the 7 great families in the capital. However, it was very difficult to cultivate a 9th-level Supreme Power Master. Not only did it require a lot of financial and material resources, but it was also difficult to find a qualified one. Because of this, the capital had been in a state of balance for decades, and each aristocratic family maintained 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters. But today, the bride kidnapping suddenly broke the situation. Qin Haodong suddenly brought 3 9th-level Supreme Power Masters. With such strength, they could not keep a low profile even if they wanted to. The most frightening thing was that they had not seen the bottom line of the other party's strength until now. Qin Haodong did not make a move, and there was Nalan Wushuang behind him. Could they both be 9th-level Supreme Power Masters? If that was the case, it would be so terrible that they could turn the capital upside down. Zhao Zangxiong's face was the ugliest. He had already sent out 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters from his family. Zhao Zangxing was completely suppressed by Feng Wu, and it seemed that it was only a matter of time before he was defeated. Although Zhao Zangtian was a little better, he was only on par with Hu Shaoxian, and there was no hope of winning at all. If this went on, when the 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters were defeated, the Zhao family would be completely disgraced. Thinking of this, he turned to look at Qi Guofan and said, "Old Qi, it's not just our family's business today. Shouldn't you also take action? At this time, Qi Guofan's emotions were extremely complicated. The strength shown by Qin Haodong was too great, far beyond his expectations. If he had known that the young man his granddaughter liked was so outstanding, he would never have agreed to the proposal of the Zhao family. If he could recruit such an outstanding grandson-in-law into the Qi family would break through the encirclement and become the top existence that surpassed the other 6 families. Even though he was filled with regret, given the current situation, he had no choice but to face it. As a top aristocratic family in the capital, they could not afford to lose face when someone came to kidnap the bride. Originally, he wanted to let the Zhao family take the lead and pretend to be ignorant, but now that Zhao Zhangqiong had proposed it, he could not continue to pretend to be deaf and dumb. After hesitating for a moment, he said to the 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters behind him, "Elders, you can take action. We have to save the face of the Qi family after all. Catch Wan, and that young man first." "Yes, Master." Qi Guiyin and Qi Guizhong, the 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters of the Qi family, agreed and walked toward Qin Haodong together. With the 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters of the Qi family taking action, the Qi and Zhao families had a total of 4 9th-level Supreme Power Masters. It could be said that they had used all their strength. Many people were worried about Qin Haodong. They did not know if this young man had the ability to fight against the Qi and Zhao families. Chu Xianyue was the most worried one. She clenched her fists nervously. Although her son's performance today had greatly exceeded her expectations, she did not know if her son could cope with the joint attack of the Qi and Zhao families. Standing in front of Qin Haodong, Qi Guiyin looked serious. He did not dare to underestimate the person who could easily break his acupoint technique. He said, "Young man, I'm Qi Guiyin. Let me see your skills." Qi Guizhong turned to look at Qi Wan. In terms of seniority, he was Qi Wan-er's grandfather. He said, "Girl, come back with me." Facing the 2 9th-level Supreme Power Masters, Qi Wan-er could not help but feel nervous. Qin Haodong held her hand and patted it, saying, "Don't be nervous. No one can take you away with me." After that, he turned to look at Qi Guizhong and Qi Guiyin. "You two are not qualified to make me take action. Boy, you're too arrogant." Qi Guizhong shouted and reached out to grab Qin Haodong's neck. As soon as they made a move, Nalan Wuxia and Nalan Wushuang immediately came forward and fought with the 2 elders of the Qi family. Seeing this scene, everyone present gasped. As expected, the other girl was also a 9th-level Supreme Power Master, and she did not seem to be weaker than the 2 elders of the Qi family. For 9th-level Supreme Power Masters, who were unknown before, seemed to have appeared out of thin air. This made the heads of the aristocratic families feel great pressure. Now the Zhao and Qi families could not gain the upper hand even if they joined forces. If an aristocratic family fought against this young man alone, the consequences could be imagined. It was unimaginable before that he could challenge the 2 aristocratic families alone. Many people could not help but sigh. Today was not a simple bride kidnapping. From now on, the capital was going to change. The most excited person was Chu Xianyue. Her eyes were already full of tears. When did her son become so powerful? With such powerful strength, she no longer had to be afraid of the Chu family. It seemed that they would reunite soon. She did not expect that her dream of many years would come true so soon. Chapter 672. Qi Wan-er was also surprised. She pulled Qin Haodong and asked, "When did Sister Nalan and the others become so powerful?" "Just a few days ago." Qin Haodong whispered in her ear, "Don't worry. I'll make you as powerful as them tonight." Qi Wan-er naturally knew what he meant. Feeling the heat in her ears, she could not help blushing like 2 ripe apples. At this moment, not many people noticed them. Everyone's eyes were attracted by the battle in the field. The battle between 8 9th-level Supreme Power Masters was definitely a rare event. Fortunately, the auditorium for thousands of people of the Qi family was spacious enough. Even if 8 people were fighting, it would not be crowded. Generally speaking, if the difference in strength was not too big, it would be difficult to determine the winner in a short time. Among them, Feng Wu was the only one with an absolute advantage, but she would need to fight for a while to win. Qin Haodong frowned. Obviously, he did not want to wait any longer. He stretched out his hand and the Xian Yuan sword appeared in his palm. Then a golden light flashed and the Xian Yuan sword, which was as fast as a dragon, circled around them. This is the sword commanding skill. The masters of the 7 great families all changed their expressions when they saw Qin Haodong's skill. It was obvious that he was also a 9th-level supreme power master. Zhao Cangqiong and Qi Guofan's faces were the darkest. If Qin Haodong attacked again, their 2 families would not be able to produce a 9th-level supreme power master. They could not fight against him at all. If other people fought, even if they were 8th-level supreme power masters, they would only be killed. The 4 9th-level supreme power masters of the Qi and Zhao families were the most surprised. The Xian Yuan sword just now had brought them great pressure, as if it could take their lives at any time. But because their opponents were too tightly entangled, they had no time to deal with the Xian Yuan sword. After the sword light flashed, they found that they were not injured, so they breathed a sigh of relief. But soon they found that their belts were loose, and then their pants fell to the ground. It turned out that Qin Haodong's sword just now did not want to hurt them. Instead, he cut off all their belts and their pants fell to the ground. Fortunately, the 4 of them were all wearing long robes. Their pants did not fall off, exposing their spring skin. Otherwise, it would have been really embarrassing. Zhao Cangqiong and the others had no time to fight anymore. They pulled up their pants and were scared out of their wits. If Qin Haodong had wanted to kill them, the Xianyuan sword could have broken their abdomens and pierced through their dantian. At this point, they were very clear that they had already lost. If it wasn't for the other party showing mercy, they would already be a corpse by now. The 9th-level Supreme Power Masters also had their own dignity. They no longer had the face to stand there and retreated one after another. Qin Haodong put away the Xian Yuan sword. The move just now could be said to have shocked everyone. He had defeated 4 9th-level Supreme Power Masters with one move, which could be said to have shocked the 7 great families on the spot. Although Qi Guofan and Zhao Cangqiong looked gloomy, they had been completely defeated and had no more temper. The purpose of Qin Haodong's visit today was to establish his prestige. He was very satisfied with the performance of these people. He took Qi Wan's hand and strode to the stage. This was the place where Zhao Hongquan and Qi Wan had just gotten engaged, but at this time, he and Qi Wan were standing here. Everyone, don't panic. I mean no harm to you. Qin Haodong said, I have no other purpose today. I just want to take Wan back. She is my woman, so no one can have any ideas about her. After he finished speaking, he swept his sharp gaze across the crowd. None of the disciples of the 7 great clans and the various great clans dared to look him in the eye. Zhao Cangqiong and Qi Guofan lowered their heads slightly. Qin Haodong had shown mercy just now. If they still didn't know what was good for them, they were afraid that Qin Haodong would really kill them. At that time, the Qi family and the Zhao family would be removed from the capital. Compared with face, survival was more important. At any time, strength dominated everything. Just now, they thought that they could suppress Qin Haodong, so they sent out masters one after another. Now the situation was reversed. The Qi family did not say a word, and the Zhao family did not dare to take any action. The huge banquet hall was silent. At this moment, someone suddenly said, "Young friend, can you listen to this poor Taoist?" Everyone looked in the direction of the voice and saw that it was the sage-like Master Yuan Tianren, who stood up. Yuan Tianren was not a warrior, and he did not take martial artists seriously. No matter how powerful a supreme power master was, he had to respectfully call him Master Yuan when he saw him. He felt that the whole audience was silent now. If he could persuade the young man in front of him to leave with a few words, it would definitely be a big deal, and his position in the capital would be unshakable in the future. Moreover, with Master Yuan's reputation, even if he failed, he would not suffer any loss. No matter how overbearing the young man in front of him was, he would not do anything to him. After all, he was a master who was proficient in magic skills. How could he know that he had already been on Qin Haodong's kill list? He waved his horsetail whisk and walked slowly to Qin Haodong. He said in the manner of a master, "Little friend, although you look good and can be regarded as a dragon or a phoenix among men, in my opinion, you don't fit Miss Qi at all. Miss Qi is indeed a rare blessing for her husband, but it is not suitable for you to be together. On the contrary, it will bring you unexpected disasters. Listen to my advice and let it go." After hearing his words, Zhao Cangqiong and Qi Guofan's eyes lit up. Sometimes force was not enough, but other ways would work. Maybe Master Yuan could persuade the young man in front of them. Yuan Tianren flicked his horsetail whisk and said earnestly, "Immortal friend, don't be stubborn. It's right to listen to me." Although Qin Haodong had almost guessed the identity of the old Taoist in front of him, he still asked for confirmation. "Who are you?" "I'm Yuan Tianren. I've been practicing magic since I was a child. It can be said that I can foresee 500 years ago and 500 years later. There is nothing I can't predict," the old Taoist said with a proud face, looking forward to the young man in front of him worshipping him. Hearing that it was indeed his great enemy, Qin Haodong still had a smile on his face, but he looked extremely cold. "Master Yuan, right? Did you predict Wan Er's blessing for her husband, which is only seen once in 1,000 years? Yes, except for me, no one else has such magic power." Yuan Tianren admitted it without hesitation. Then 20 years ago, the ancestral grave of the Chu family, the land of fairies, was also predicted by you? Yuan Tianren looked at him in surprise and then said, "Young man, you're really knowledgeable. You've even heard of the land of fairies." "Yes, that's what I saw. The so-called land of fairies can bless future generations of wealth. The only thing is that a married woman can't give birth to a son. Otherwise, the blessing will be transferred to the child and the husband's family, and the consequences will be unimaginable." The more he said, the more excited he became. He showed off his knowledge of magic skills and did not notice that the young man in front of him was getting more and more murderous. Chu Shanhe, who was sitting in the audience, had been looking at ease, but when he suddenly heard Qin Haodong mention their family's ancestral grave, his expression suddenly changed and his eyes became deep. Qin Haodong looked at him with a strange expression and said, "Is your algorithm really so wonderful?" "Of course, I've been in the capital for so many years and I've never failed." At this moment, Yuan Tianren had the demeanor of a master and did not take the young man in front of him seriously at all. He said to Qi Wan, earnestly, "Girl of the Qi family, let me tell you, although your fate is rich and it's rare for your husband to have a good life, not everyone can enjoy it. Zhao Hongquan is the best husband you are destined to have. His fate is opposite to yours. If you can be together, you will definitely help each other and complement each other to achieve great things." Qin Haodong looked at him coldly and said, "Master Yuan, since you have this kind of ability, can you tell me on the spot and let me have an eye-opener?" "Of course." Yuan Tianren said, "Tell me, do you want money, marriage, or career success?" "None of these." Qin Haodong said, "I just want you to tell me whether your luck today is bad or good." At this moment, Yuan Tianren felt the killing intent in Qin Haodong's eyes. His expression immediately became unnatural and the muscles on his face were extremely stiff. "My little friend, your evil spirit is too strong. Listen to me." Qin Haodong looked at him coldly and said, "Old faker, can't you tell me?" Hearing that he was called a faker, Yuan Tianren suddenly became furious. He had always been respected by everyone in the capital. How could he be a faker? "Young man, how can you say that?" But before he finished speaking, he heard a crisp sound and a big slap on his face. This time, Qin Haodong was angry and used a lot of strength. The bones of half of Yuan Tianren's face were almost broken. His teeth were broken and he fell to the ground with a thud. Now everyone was shocked. Yuan Tianren was a well-known master in the capital. He was proficient in feng shui and magic. Usually, he was treated like an immortal by everyone. No one dared to hurt him. Qin Haodong stepped in front of Yuan Tianren, still with a murderous sneer on his face. I'll give you another chance. Tell me, will I break your left leg or your right leg this time? Now Yuan Tianren felt fear, but he didn't understand why this young man had such a strong killing intent against him. He quickly wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, ignoring the pain on his face, and said in a trembling voice, I'm just trying to persuade you out of kindness. It's fine if you don't listen to me. Why do you have to be so rough? It seems that you can't even calculate this. Then I'll give you an answer. After Qin Haodong said that, he stepped on Yuan Tianren's left leg hard. With a bone-cracking sound, Yuan Tianren howled like a pig being slaughtered. His whole calf was crushed into pieces. Chapter 673. Although Yuan Tianren was screaming miserably, there was no pity in Qin Haodong's eyes. It was because of the old faker's nonsense that his family was ruined. His father was separated from his wife, his mother was lonely for more than 20 years, and he became an orphan when he was a child. Now, he came to hurt his woman. How could such a person deserve to be pitied? He smiled warmly, looked at Yuan Tianren and asked, Master Yuan, please calculate again. Should I break your leg or break your arm next? No, please don't. Yuan Tianren endured the pain and cried miserably, please let me go this time. Although he didn't understand why Qin Haodong suddenly wanted to kill him, a wise man knew better than to fight when the odds were against him. He had to get through this first. At this time, he had secretly vowed that as long as he could live through this day, he would use all means to make this young man pay. Aren't you a master? Aren't you able to predict 500 years in the past and 500 years in the future? Aren't you good at divination? Now I'm giving you a chance. Why don't you let it go? With these words, Qin Haodong raised his foot and broke Yuan Tianren's other leg again. Yuan Tianren screamed and fainted, but Qin Haodong didn't give him the chance. He raised his foot and kicked him in the chest, waking him up in an instant. As soon as he opened his eyes, he felt the sharp pain in his legs. Yuan Tianren begged, little brother, please let me go. How much money do you want? I have a lot of money and I can give it to you, as long as you spare my life. Qin Haodong sneered, aren't you good at divination? Let's see if I'll take your money and let you go. Although Yuan Tianren didn't understand why Qin Haodong was so murderous, he realized that it should be because of his divination. He hurriedly cried, no, I won't do divination anymore. As long as you spare me, I'll wash my hands of divination and never do it again. Qin Haodong sneered, do you know now? It's a pity that it's too late. You don't even know how to tell others' fortunes. How many sins have you done these years? How many people's happiness have you destroyed? How many families have you broken up? Now it's time for you to pay the price. After that, he raised his foot and broke Yuan Tianren's arms. Looking at the scene in front of them, everyone had mixed feelings. Master Yuan, who was once famous in the capital, was tortured to such a state. Was this the legendary fate? Many people became suspicious of Yuan Tianren's sorcery. Since he was so good at divination, why didn't he foresee the calamity that would befall him today? Even if he couldn't foresee it clearly, he should have foreseen it. There were also some people who were very confused about Qin Haodong's behavior. This young man didn't seem to be a cruel and murderous person. He had just shown mercy to the two aristocratic families, but why did he hate Yuan Tianren so much? Could it be that there was more to it than meets the eye? Although many people, including the Chu family, were followers of Master Yuan, none of them dared to stop Qin Haodong's fierce means. Among the crowd, only Chu Xianyue understood what the problem was. Her son was avenging her family. Looking at Yuan Tianren's fate, she had no pity in her heart, only the pleasure of revenge. If it weren't for the old Taoist priest's fairyland, she would have had her own happy family and reunited with her husband and son. She wouldn't be so lonely now, and she wouldn't have been cut off from her mother's family. Yuan Tianren's limbs were all broken and he fell on the stage, dying. His eyes were full of despair and resentment. Qin Haodong glanced at him and said, "If I don't tell you the reason, you won't be able to die in peace. Today, I'll let you die knowing." After that, he gently jumped off the stage and came to Chu Xianyue under everyone's gaze. He took her hand and walked to the stage together. Seeing this scene, Chu Shanha's eyebrows twitched. He seemed to have realized something. After they got on the stage, Qin Haodong was still holding Chu Xuanyue's hand and said to the audience, "Do you still not understand why I treat this old faker so badly? Now I'll make it clear. My surname is Qin, which means Qin Zongheng. My name is Haodong, which means Haodong of the Haodong group. This is not a coincidence, because my father is Qin Zongheng and my mother is Chu Xianyue." After he said that, the whole audience was in an uproar, especially Chu Shanha of the Chu family and Qin Zhan Ao of the Qin family. The two old men could sit still just now, but now they could no longer sit still and almost jumped up from their seats. Chu Shanha was shocked by Qin Haodong's identity. He didn't expect that the child he had ordered to kill was still alive. Today, he was standing in front of him alive and he was so powerful that he could only look up to him. Qin Zhan Ao was shocked but also ecstatic. No matter what, Qin Haodong was the blood of the Qin family. Although the peerless genius Qin Zongheng had run away from home, his son was back now and he had brought so many masters with him. If Qin Haodong could rejoin the Qin family, with his current strength, he would be able to look down upon the 7 great families in the capital and become the unique number 1 family. Zhao Cangqiong and Qi Guofan looked at each other and saw the horror in each other's eyes, but their moods were very different. Zhao Cangqiong was both shocked and frightened. He did not expect that his grandson would steal the bride from Qin Zongheng's son. Was he tired of living? Qi Guofan was filled with regret. He regretted that he had acted on his own and that he had not asked his granddaughter about this young man. If he had known that the man his daughter liked was Qin Zongheng's son, he would never have arranged a marriage with the Zhao family. It should be known that if a family could rely on a master at the Saint Realm, it would definitely make the family rise rapidly. Master Yuan Tianren, who was lying on the stage, was the most miserable one. Now he understood why Qin Haodong hated him so much when he mentioned the land of the fairies' bare skin. It turned out that this was the child he had asked the Chu family to kill. Everyone else present was also talking at once, expressing their shock. Some people knew about the case between the Chu family and the Qin family, but some didn't know much about it. When the scene calmed down a little, Qin Haodong continued, "Now you should know why I hate Yuan Tianren so much. It was his nonsense that broke up my happy family. He made up the land of the fairies' bare skin and caused me to be separated from my mother for many years. In fact, he is a fraud and he doesn't know anything about magic at all. Now 20 years have passed and I am living well, but has the Chu family declined? Has the Qin family prospered? Isn't it the same as 20 years ago? So what he said about the land of the fairies' bare skin was a bunch of nonsense. There is no need for an old fraud like him to live in this world." After that, Qin Haodong raised his foot and kicked Yuan Tianren in the chest, directly shattering his heart meridian. Master Yuan, who had been famous in the capital for many years, ended his life. Looking at Yuan Tianren's body, the guests present had different reactions. Among them, Chu Shanha, the master of the Chu family, was the most emotional. Back then, he had believed Yuan Tianren's words without a doubt. He had even sent people to kill his own grandson and expel his own daughter from the Chu clan. In the end, as Qin Haodong said, his grandson was not killed, but the Chu family did not decline, and the Qin family did not prosper, which showed that the so-called land of the fairies' bare skin was a complete fraud. Yuan Tianren was dead, but in his eyes, he deserved to die. If it were not for his identity, he would rush up and kick him hard. Because of the old fraud's nonsense, He and his daughter had been estranged for more than 20 years and lost such an excellent grandson. If he could have raised Qin Haodong in the Chu family, wouldn't he have soared to the sky now? But there was no if in the world, and it was useless to regret. Qin Haodong came to the Qi family mainly for two purposes today. One was to recognize his mother openly, and the other was to take Qi Wan away. Now that his goal had been achieved, he no longer paid attention to the dumbstruck crowd and left the Qi clan with his subordinates. Seeing him leave, no one dared to stop him. The people of the Zhao family did not dare, let alone the people of the Qi family. What a joke. The 5 ninth-level Supreme Power Masters were there. They had already given them a lot of face by not exterminating the two families. If they went up to make trouble, they would be courting death. Moreover, with the exposure of Qin Haodong's identity, the whole situation had become extremely complicated. In contrast, the marriage that had just been robbed had become less important. As soon as they left, the masters of the other 5 families left one after another. Then Zhao Zhangqiong also returned to the Zhao family with his men and ordered them to close the door. Then he ordered the direct descendants of the Qi family to hold an emergency meeting immediately. For a time, all the aristocratic families in the capital knew that a storm was coming. Everyone realized that the capital was about to change. The 7 aristocratic families in the capital had been fighting against each other for decades, but with the arrival of a young man, many people realized that this state was about to be broken. Qin Haodong was like a bomb, blowing up the peace of the capital. His identity was too complicated. He was the grandson of the Qin family, the grandson of the Chu family, and now he was the son-in-law of the Qi family. However, these identities were extremely strange. He was the grandson of the Qin family, but the Qin family did not know about it for more than 20 years. He was the grandson of the Chu family, but his mother had been a stranger to the Chu family for so many years. He was the son-in-law of the Qi family, but he was also the son-in-law of the Qi family. If it was an ordinary person, these were not a big deal, but he was extremely powerful, strong enough to reverse the situation of the 7 aristocratic families in the capital. It was precisely because of these particularities that there were too many uncertainties buried in the future of the capital. No one could guess what tomorrow would be like. After Qin Haodong left, he took his men to the front of a manor in the suburbs of the capital. It was obvious that it had just been renovated. There was a huge plaque hanging on the gate, on which 2 big words were written, Tang Sect. Chapter 674. Qin Haodong held Chu Xuanyue's hand, pointed to the plaque on the door and said, "I wrote this. How about it? Isn't it beautiful?" Chu Xuanyue looked up at the words on the plaque. The strokes were vigorous and powerful. She thought it was written by a calligraphy master, but she didn't expect it to be written by her son. "Haodong, you really wrote this? You didn't lie to me, did you?" "Mom, why would I lie to you? I really wrote this." Qin Haodong took Chu Xuanyue's arm and walked into the Tang sect. Chu Xuanyue looked at the luxurious and spacious manor as she walked and asked, "Son, is this all yours?" "Of course, this will be our home in the future." "When did you buy such a big property in the capital?" "Why didn't I know?" Qin Haodong said, "I asked Sister Yi Qing to help me find a suitable place to live these days. The club just went bankrupt and the original owner ran away, so I bought it." While they were talking, Yi Qing came out from the inside and said, "Sister, you're all here." Chu Xuanyue glared at her and said, "What have you been secretly doing these days? You didn't tell me about such a big thing." Yi Qing said innocently, "Don't blame me. Your son wanted to surprise you, so I kept it a secret." Then they entered the living room. The decoration here was fresh, elegant and luxurious. Yi Qing had asked someone to decorate and buy new furniture. After sitting down, Chu Xuanyue couldn't care about anything else. She reached out and pulled Qi Wan over. She used to dream about having a daughter-in-law, and today her wish was fulfilled. "Wan, come to Auntie." It was said that an ugly daughter-in-law was afraid to meet her parents-in-law, and so was a beautiful daughter-in-law. Chi Wan-er didn't expect to meet her mother-in-law so soon, so she was a little nervous. She sat next to Chu Xianyue and said, "Auntie Chu, thank you for speaking up for me today." "It's nothing. I just expressed my feelings at the time, but I didn't expect you to be Haodong's girlfriend. We are family," Chu Xianyue said as she took off the bracelet on her wrist. "Wan-er, take it. This is Auntie's gift for you." This bracelet was made of the best mutton fat jade. It was crystal clear and smooth, and one could tell at a glance that it was no ordinary item. Chi Wan-er quickly refused. "Auntie, I didn't prepare a gift for our first meeting. How can I accept your gift?" Chu Xianyue said, "You're the best gift for me. I've been wearing this bracelet for more than 10 years. I used to dream of passing it on to my daughter-in-law. I didn't expect that my dream would come true today. Take it." Chi Wan-er looked at Qin Haodong awkwardly. Qin Haodong said, "Since my mom gave it to you, you should take it." "Thank you, Auntie." Chi Wan-er took the bracelet shyly. Yi Qing curled his lips and said, "Old lady, you're too biased. I've asked for this bracelet many times, but you didn't give it to me. Now you give it to me as soon as we meet." Chu Xianyue said with a smile, "You are fighting for everything. This is for my daughter-in-law. Why are you jealous?" Hearing the word daughter-in-law, Chi Wan-er blushed and became more and more shy. Yi Qing said, "Old lady, don't be proud. I'm afraid this bracelet is not enough." Chu Xianyue said in surprise, "What do you mean?" Yi Qing said, "What do I mean? Ask your son." Seeing his mother looking at him, Qin Haodong smiled embarrassedly. Then he turned around and called the girls over. "Mom, let's get to know each other. They are all my girlfriends." "Hello, Auntie, you're so beautiful." Nalan Wushuang, Nalan Wuxia, Feng Wu, and Hu Shaoxian came over to greet Chu Xianyue one by one and surrounded her. Chu Xianyue felt a little confused. She had thought that Qin Haodong's daughter-in-law was her daughter-in-law. She had never dreamed that the 4 beautiful girls around her were also her daughter-in-law. Okay, Chu Xianyue responded to them one by one and then turned to look at Qin Haodong. "Are they all my daughters-in-law?" Qin Haodong said awkwardly, "That's all for the time being. There are still 2 who haven't come." Thinking of the number of girlfriends he really had a headache. Including Lin Momo and Li Jiumei who were not present, there were 7, not including Yan Feifei, who he could not explain clearly. "What, there are more?" Chu Xianyue was stunned and could not say anything for a long time. "Mom, you're not angry, are you? Listen to me." Qin Haodong thought that his mother thought he was too playful and was anxious to explain, but he saw Chu Xianyue jump up happily and shouted excitedly, "That's great, son. I like having many daughters-in-law. If I have many daughters-in-law, I will have many grandchildren in the future. The whole family will be happy and happy." She was born in a big family like the Chu family. Many direct descendants of the family had several women. She was the daughter of Chu Shanha's second wife, so she did not have any opinion about Qin Haodong having many girlfriends. On the contrary, she was very happy. In her heart, her son had many girlfriends, which was a sign of his ability. Qin Haodong breathed a sigh of relief. If his mother insisted on choosing one of his girlfriends, it would be really difficult for him to choose. Chu Xianyue was happy, but then she felt embarrassed. Although there was a bracelet left on her wrist, there were so many daughters-in-law that it was not enough. At this time, Yi Qing said with a smile, "Old lady, you must be dumbfounded. Fortunately, I have already prepared a gift for you. I have a friend who does business in Africa, so I asked him to bring a lot of diamond rings." As she spoke, she took a bag with 5 delicate jewelry boxes in it. Chu Xianyue opened a box. Inside was a platinum ring inlaid with a huge diamond. Any pigeon's egg would be overshadowed by this ring. She said in surprise, "Girl, this diamond ring is really good." Yi Qing said, "Of course, this is a good product from the place of origin. It costs more than 5 million yuan. You have to pay for it later. You little girl, you don't need money for small gifts for your brother's daughters-in-law. Chu Xianyue said as she picked up the rings in the bag and gave them to the girls in front of her one by one. Thank you, Auntie. The Nailan sisters, Hu Shaoxian and Feng Wu, all took the rings. Although they did not care about the rings themselves, it represented Qin Haodong's mother's approval of them, which was of great significance. After that, Qin Haodong began to take everyone to familiarize themselves with the new residents and assign rooms. The family was busy and lively. At the same time, the other major families in the capital were holding an emergency meeting of their core members. Qin Haodong's sudden appearance had brought too great a change to the situation in the capital. It was not an exaggeration to say that the survival of every family was threatened. In the Zhao family, Zhao Zhangxiong sat in the main seat with a gloomy face. Zhao Zhangsheng and Zhao Zhangtian sat next to him. There were also 7 or 8 core members of the Zhao family, including Zhao Zhanghai, who had been injured by Nailan Wuxia. He was also sitting opposite them with a pale face. After Zhao Zhangxiong told everyone about Qin Haodong's appearance, he said, "That's the situation. Qin Haodong now has 5 Supreme Masters at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, and there are also hundreds of Supreme Power Masters under his command. His strength is really too strong. If he wants to, he can easily destroy one of the 7 great families in the capital. The most troublesome thing is that we have already had a conflict with Qin Haodong because of Hong Kuan's marriage. I'm afraid that he will harm our Zhao family in the future. How do you think we should deal with him?" "Master, is it really as you said? Does that guy really have 5 Supreme Masters at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm?" The one who spoke was Zhao Qi, the second-generation disciple of the Zhao family. He did not attend the engagement party today, so he could not believe what Zhao Zhangxiong had said. The 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm was the supreme existence in the capital. How could there be so many of them all of a sudden? Zhao Zhangxing said, "You don't have to doubt that. We have all fought against him. He is not only at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, but his cultivation is also very high." He shuddered at the thought of the sword that Qin Haodong had cut off his belt. Zhao Qi said, "In that case, it seems that we can only take the route of the alliance of the aristocratic families. We can immediately unite with several other aristocratic families. After all, the appearance of such a big threat will not only threaten our Zhao family, but also the other families. If we unite with the other 6 aristocratic families and gather 14 masters at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, we can definitely kill Qin Haodong in one fell swoop and eliminate any future troubles." Zhao Zhangtian shook his head and said, "It would be easy if things were so simple. This guy surnamed Qin has a very special identity. He is a member of the Qin family and he is the son of Qin Zongheng. Let's put Qin Zongheng aside first. I'm afraid that old guy Qin Zhan Ao is now at home with joy. The Qin family suddenly has such an outstanding descendant and he is very happy. How can he unite with our Zhao family? Even if we take action, he will not hesitate to stand on Qin Haodong's side." Zhao Qi said, "Even without the Qin family, we can gather enough power with the other 5 aristocratic families." Zhao Zhangxiong glared at him discontentedly and said, "You're already in your 40s. Why don't you use your brain? Qin Haodong is the son of Qin Zongheng. Since he is a descendant of the Qin family, how can he have nothing to do with the Chu family? He is the grandson of Chu Shanhe. Do you think he can unite with us now?" Zhao Qi also felt that he had not thought it through. Zhao Zhangxing added, "Not only the Qin family and the Chu family are unreliable, but even the current Qi family is also unreliable. In front of us aristocratic families, there are only eternal interests, no eternal enemies. I guess Qi Guofan must have known Qin Haodong's strength before, otherwise he would never have agreed to the marriage between his granddaughter and Hong Kuan. Although Qin Haodong has taken Qi Wan away, she is still a member of his family. I guess the Qi family is now glad that they have a strong backer. I'm afraid it won't be long before they send someone to formally propose marriage. At that time, Qin Haodong will be the grandson-in-law of the Qi family. It's impossible for them to unite with us. Chapter 675. Zhao Qi said angrily, "How can the Qi family do this? Hong Kuan and Qi Wan are engaged. What's the point of trust?" Zhao Zhangqiong glanced at him and said, "Trust? You're still too naive. What's the point of trust in the face of family interests? If it were our Zhao family, we would have done the same. The engagement is a matter between our two families. If the Qi family really does this, all Qin Haodong's anger will be directed at our Zhao family. I'm afraid there will be big trouble then." Zhao Qi, another core disciple of the second generation of the Zhao family, spoke. Compared with Zhao Qi, who was straightforward, he was more thoughtful and scheming. After hearing his words, Zhao Zhangqiong and the others looked serious. As the saying goes, the hatred of killing one's father and stealing one's wife. Qin Haodong must be angry about Qi Wan-er's engagement. But after all, the Zhao family was Qi Wan-er's maiden family, so he could not go too far. It was very likely that he would vent all his anger on the Zhao family. If he brought masters to raid them one night, the Zhao family would be removed from the capital. Zhao Zhangqiong said again, "How can we resolve the hatred between us and Qin Haodong? Do you have any good ideas?" The whole small meeting room fell into silence in an instant. This kind of hatred was not easy to resolve. Now it's a moment of life and death for our family. Don't you have any ideas? Zhao Zhangqiong's voice was stern. This time, he was really angry. "Master, I have an idea." It was still Zhao Qi who spoke. He was a scheming man who knew how to control the situation. If he had revealed his plan just now, it would not have been so important. At this moment, everyone was helpless, and the family head was furious. Only then did he reveal his talent, causing everyone to look at him in a new light. Sure enough, Zhao Zhangqiong looked at him and said, "Tell me. If you have a way to help the Zhao family survive this disaster, I'll reward you handsomely." Feng doesn't dare to ask for anything. "I just want to help the family out of trouble." Zhao Qi said arrogantly, just as the family head said, "Qin Haodong not only has Qi Wan-er, but he also has relationships with several other beauties. He must be a womanizer. It's easy to deal with people if they have weaknesses. When it comes to beautiful women, our Zhao family also has them. Qinggu is the most famous beauty in the capital. She is definitely not inferior to Qi Wan-er of the Qi family. The Qi family can marry off their daughter, so can our Zhao family. We can propose marriage and marry Zhao Qinggu to Qin Haodong. In this way, not only can the conflict be resolved invisibly, but it can also bring great help to our Zhao family. With Qingwu's beauty and means, she will definitely be favored. At that time, it will not be difficult for our Zhao family to become the biggest family in the capital." After hearing Zhao Qi's words, Zhao Zhangqiong nodded slightly. Zhao Qingwu was his granddaughter, who was both beautiful and talented. She was not only a famous talented woman among the aristocratic families in the capital, but also one of the top 3 beauties. In terms of appearance, she was definitely not inferior to anyone. "Master, we can't do that." As soon as Zhao Qi finished speaking, another middle-aged man next to him stood up. He was Zhao Kai, the second generation of the Zhao family, Zhao Qingwu's father. Zhao Zhangqiong glanced at him and said, "Tell me, why not?" Zhao Kai said, "Master, have you forgotten that Qingwu has already been engaged to the Yan family? She was just engaged to Yan Zicheng a few months ago. Yan Zicheng is a young talent among the 3rd generation and he is in love with Qingwu. If we break off the engagement now, Qingwu will not agree and we will also offend the Yan family. This is definitely not worth the loss." After hearing this, Zhao Zhangqiong turned to Zhao Qi and said, "What do you think?" Zhao Feng knew that the family head was testing his intelligence and he could not help feeling proud. As long as he left a good impression in the eyes of the family head today, he would probably be the heir in the future. He said calmly, Master, I don't think so. I think it's definitely a good thing to marry Qinggu to Qin Haodong. Zhao Zhangxiong said, Tell me, how can we kill two birds with one stone? First of all, with Qinggu's beauty, she will definitely win Qin Haodong's favor. Needless to say, this will bring benefits to our Zhao family. As for the Yan family, even if they are dissatisfied with this marriage, who will they vent their anger on? I think they will definitely vent their anger on Qin Haodong. If the Yan family can't control themselves and fight with Qin Haodong, no matter who wins or loses, our Zhao family will be happy to watch the fire from the other side. If the Yan family wins and kills Qin Haodong, it will help our Zhao family get rid of a big problem. It will be a great thing for us. If Qin Haodong wins and erases the Yan family from the capital, then our Zhao family will have one less competitor. Why not? Zhao Kai said, but if the Yan family wins, will they vent their anger on our Zhao family? Zhao Qi sneered and said, not to mention that Qin Haodong has 5 9th-level Supreme Power Masters, the Yan family has a very small chance of winning. Even if they win through various hidden means, they will be greatly weakened. In this case, they can only rely on our Zhao family. How can they have the strength to challenge the Zhao family? It's really a good plan to kill two birds with one stone. Zhao Zhangxiong nodded with satisfaction and then said, Zhao Qi, let's do as you said. Get ready immediately. We'll go to propose marriage now. Zhao Qi said, Master, Qi Wan, was originally betrothed to Hongkuan, but now she has been taken away by Qin Haodong. Is it appropriate for our Zhao family to send our daughter over immediately? I don't feel happy. If other families know about this, won't they laugh at our Zhao family for fawning on the rich and powerful? Zhao Hongkuan was his son. Not only had his legs been broken, but he had also lost his wife. Now they were going to propose marriage, which was really unacceptable to him for a while. Bastard! Zhao Zhangxiong flew into a rage and said, a man can be flexible. Han Xian can only achieve great things if he is humiliated. There are no eternal enemies in front of our aristocratic families, only eternal interests. Personal honor is nothing in front of the interests of the family. This time, our Zhao family is facing an unprecedented crisis. If we don't deal with it properly, I'm afraid that the whole family will be wiped out from the capital, not to mention losing face. People say that you know your destiny at 50, but you don't even understand this. Have you been living like a dog all your life? Besides, if other aristocratic families know what you said, they will only laugh at your ignorance and short-sightedness, but they won't laugh at our Zhao family for fawning on the rich and powerful. Do you understand? Seeing that his father was really angry, Zhao Qi hurriedly said, I understand, Master. Seeing that his wisdom was valued by the family master, while Zhao Qi was scolded, Zhao Qi could not help but show a hint of joy on his face. Although Zhao Kai was unwilling, he did not dare to say anything since the family master had already made a decision. He could only sigh for his daughter in his heart. Women from big aristocratic families like them, especially outstanding women, could not decide their own fate at all, and their marriage could only be arranged by the family. After all, Qin Haodong was the only one who dared to kidnap the bride with his strength. Other women were not so lucky. The same scene was happening in the Han family. Han Wuji, the family master, looked at the people in front of him and said, Qin Haodong's rapid rise this time is indeed far beyond our expectations, and it is also beyond the expectations of other aristocratic families. If I'm right, I'm afraid that the capital is about to change. Everyone, tell me, where should our Han family go from here? Han Wuwei said, according to what you said, Qin Haodong's current strength is too strong. He can even suppress the Qi family and the Zhao family. 5 experts at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm are enough to dominate the trend of the capital. This is just his strength on the surface. We don't know if he is hiding it or not. In the face of such tyrannical strength, I'm afraid it's impossible for us to fight against him. Maybe we will lose everything and our Han family will be involved. Qin Zongheng and Qin Haodong are too strong. It's not wise to fight against them. I think the best way now is to have a good relationship with Qin Haodong. Han Zai said, but some time ago, because of Han Zixing, our Han family has angered Qin Zongheng. Naturally, Qin Haodong will not have a good impression of us. I'm afraid it's impossible to have a good relationship with him. Han Wuju said, it's not impossible. Qin Haodong was able to bring people to the Qi family this time, which shows that he values women very much. Since he is lustful, we can start from this point. Our Han family's Jiayu is one of the 3 beauties in the capital. As long as we put down our pride and propose marriage, I think Qin Haodong has no reason to refuse. As long as he can marry our Han family, we will have the initiative in our hands. In the face of this storm, there will be no risk at all. On the contrary, we will have a chance to rise. Maybe the capital will belong to our Han family in the future. Han Poju, the 3rd generation direct descendant of the Han family, said, but Chu Mingda of the Chu family is pursuing my little sister. Now the whole capital knows it. Han Wei said, so what? It's just a pursuit. They are not engaged. Even if they are engaged, what can they do? Would the Chu family dare to make trouble with Qin Haodong? Han Wuju said, that's true. I guess that old fox Chu Shanha is having a headache now. He is thinking about how to resolve the conflict with his grandson, so Chu Mingda is nothing at all. Han Wuji said, well, it's settled then. I'll go to Chu Xianhua to propose marriage now. In the Wei family, the family master, Wei Junce, sat in the main seat and said to the family members in front of him, the 7 great families in the capital have been peaceful for so many years. Now there is finally a change. Although Qin Haodong has no grudges with our Wei family, he is now the key to the entire capital. What should our Wei family do and how to grasp the general trend this time? Tell me. Among the 7 great families in the capital, the Wei family was the most low-key one. They rarely had conflicts with other families and their children rarely went out to cause trouble. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.